going on, Tammy?
I always have to be first. I can't help it.
I was about to try to jump in. I was going to try to beat you. I was too slow.
I've surrounded myself throughout life with people who embedded in my head that if you were on time, you're late.
Yeah.
So it's just my annoying habit.
I need to get like that. Because I've been surrounded by people all my life that were like, if you're on time, you're early.
Then we're gonna have a hard time. No.
I need to fix that. I gotta change.
Yes, you do.
I gotta change up. I'm tripping. But I've been trying to get better. I've been trying to get better over the last, year or so. Because, it's stressful. Erica's not like that at all. So, if I'm running late and she's running early, then, it's a bad thing. So I've been trying to change up. But
where's Danielle at? I know she's there she is.
Oh yeah, I know
cookie.
She's been busy. She's been standing in the cold today at the lacrosse game.
She's post Saturday 60 with the rest of us feeling feisty here.
Yeah. So I'm with it. I can understand it.
I'm here. Well, the crazy thing is that I did a 45-minute tread boot camp this morning before I went to lacrosse.
Yeah.
Because I was like, I'm not going to feel like working out after lacrosse, so let me do this now.
Mm-hmm.
And then, of course, I had FOMO because everybody was posting about Jock Jams and Saturday 60, so then I did it a little while ago. And now I'm feisty and pissed off. So just be forewarned, everybody, I'm in a foul mood.
Oh, man.
Jeff Robin Sims is an a-hole.
Oh, man.
Oh, boy.
Everybody says that about that one. I don't know what's going on.
Endorphins are supposed to make you happy.
Except she tried to kill me.
Oh, you weren't the only one. There were about 6,000 people who took that class so far.
I'm like, there's a reason why I didn't play basketball.
Oh, yeah, that's right. And Usain Bolt said that he wasn't even sure she played basketball. He was doubting that she was a forward. That was funny. Did you see that post?
Yeah, it's a good class, though.
Said she was a little too short.
I do remember seeing that because they said she was too small to be a forward or something.
Yeah, that was hilarious. Anyways, I guess we can get started, right? We good?
Yeah.
All right. Welcome, everybody, to our weekly wellness check where we just talk about connected fitness, the fitness industry, talk about a lot about Peloton because a lot of us are Peloton riders and runners, and talk about our own journeys sometimes. It's meant to be light conversation. It's not meant to be anything too stressful. It's a weekend, so just kind of relax. If you want to join the conversation, hit the hand in the lower right of your phone and we'll just bring you on stage. If you don't want to do that, please don't feel any stress. Just hang out in the audience, just listen, or go into the chat, because the chat be off the chain. You can do that. That's fun. I try to jump in the chat while we're talking. And I'm not coordinated like that. Like I'm trying to talk and type, and then all of a sudden I get all screwed up.
You have all of that equipment there: a laptop, a phone stand, a microphone, a video camera, and you can't figure out how to work a chat.
Yeah.
And talk at the same time.
Yeah, I'm all messed up with the chat. I read the chat.
He has hair and makeup too.
Hair and makeup, right?
I read the chat. The chat's fun to read, but I can't seem to respond and kind of drive. I can't. It's a problem. Anyway.
It's a problem for Danielle and I who are just on our phones, and we only have one device to use.
I know. See, and you guys do it, and I can't. It's craziness. Anyway, so we'll jump into it. First topic is I had a question about the Peloton member community and how that the magic that I felt relative to it over the last 5-6 years or so. And it's all based, the question is all based on the fact that last weekend, or a couple weeks ago, Danielle was on the podcast. She's like, we're heading to New York for our friend's birthday. And then Danielle like, oh, were we supposed to say that? And then I found out, and then I kind of invited myself, and a whole bunch of other people came too. So we went to New York and we celebrated Courtney Helm's birthday. And it was a lot of fun. I saw a lot of people I hadn't seen in like 3 years. And we took like a whole bunch of pictures, and it was an amazing time. The day before, I got to see Alex for a few hours, and we sat down for brunch, and that was fun. And it was just like a whole kind of community weekend. It was the bomb. And so when I got back, I posted about it, but then I started wondering, like, is this a unique thing? Like, are there other fitness products and or fitness organizations or groups or clubs that just tends to happen? Like, once you kind of get deep into the activity, there's just like a camaraderie, and there's just like a just like a closeness that just kind of happens. Is that common, or is it does Peloton have something specific, right? And so I don't know. I'm wondering, like, I don't know if it's a Peloton magic thing or that they somehow generated.
Magic. And I'll tell you why I think that there's some magic. I mean, definitely when I was going to the gym in person and going to Orange Theory Fitness, I mean, there was a lot of bonding and everything that came out of that. But you were physically in the same room with people several times a week, for an hour at a time. People are bonding who have never actually met in person before. And I'll give you an example. Some of you know this already. This week I got a care package from a member who is usually on every Saturday night. I don't see her now, and I'm not going to call her out by name. But she had me as a Secret Santa 2 years ago in Jess Sims' group. Never met in person. She noticed on Instagram that both my son and I both had COVID. And she sent us this huge box of cookies. So if that's not telling you something about the Peloton community, I don't know what will.
Hey, what's going on, Sheldon?
And I was just going to say, I used to work out at UFC, which was like a boutique gym here, and I loved how small it was, and like everybody knew me. And I had the same exact feeling from like Peloton. Even though there's like a million of us, I feel like people know who I am, and they're like, hey, you're working out, or, I'm getting a high fives. So it's definitely, in my opinion, like a really unique experience that only happens in certain either gyms or connected fitness forums.
But wait, you said you were at, Orange Theory, did you say?
UFC.
Oh, UFC? And you said, but you had a similar kind of a take, though.
I did, because it's a small gym. So it's like a boutique fitness gym. I don't think you have it if you go to like big box gyms.
Yeah.
Like if you're like at an LA Fitness or a Planet Fitness or something, I don't know that you have the same experience. But UFC is very much like a boutique fitness gym, probably very similar in size to like Orange Theory or like a CrossFit gym.
Yep.
Where you see the same people over and over and over again, so you kind of become like a family.
Right.
So like my UFC gym was like my family pre-COVID. They knew when to expect me, and if I wasn't there, I'd be getting a message from the manager like, hey, I haven't seen you, why aren't you here? Like,
right.
And I kind of feel like Peloton is the same way now, because I have my small groups of people. I've got my BGM family, and I've got your group family, and I've got, Love Squad and Jack Sims family, and everybody's kind of like, hey, are you working out? When are you working out? Or if I am working out, then I'm getting all the high fives and all the loves. And, people are like, I saw you on the leaderboard. So it's kind of the same for me. Whereas like I went from a in-person small boutique fitness to Peloton being a small boutique fitness, even though it's not really small.
Right. Hey, Sheldon, how's it going?
I am well, my friend. I don't think it's a Peloton specific thing. We have the exact same thing in Echelon. I traveled to Ohio, which is 7 hours, to see a person I'd never met before on a triathlon. But I will give Peloton credit for creating it. I think they kicked off the whole concept of it, and it's definitely a connected fitness thing for sure. And because I think it allows you to create your tight groups and that camaraderie that makes you feel like you're in a big family. And like I've attended virtual weddings for my people I've never met, frankly, in person, but I know them from the forums. And it's definitely the connected fitness magic that allows it to happen, but I don't think it's Peloton specific, because I feel like we would say the exact same thing about it. Like, it's so special. Like, it is
Right.
very special. It's very special for us. But it's the concept of it isn't unique.
There's like a few people like in the chat, like Jane is saying, like, yeah, well, I think Jane, you're just kind of agreeing that that even as a digital writer, you feel kind of a similar thing. I thought I saw someone else in here say that they felt it at like with Les Mills or with other, like, I'm struggling to find that comment now, but that they found it with other places that may not have necessarily been connected fitness. Like, if you guys want to come up and talk about that, I'd be interested in that. But hey, Jessica, how's it going? You out there, Jessica?
Which one?
Oh, I'm sorry. Jessica Minardi. What's going on?
Hey.
How's it going?
It's going. I do want to say, I think being a part of the MLM world, it isn't odd to me because, as you guys know, I'm, very wholeheartedly part of Beachbody. So this is something that we kind of do all the time. It's like meet up. But it is with a different aspect because you're like creating teams, and there's a different underlying, I guess, motive for the original meetup, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Because it's business first, and then you get to know the people, and then you realize, oh, I really do want to develop relationships, and it just goes, whether you stay within the company and the network, you continue those relationships and they blossom. Whereas Peloton, it's really organically just based on fitness. For the most part, and no alternative motive. It's really just connecting. So I think that's the unique piece about it. And it sounds like much like what Danielle had at UFC. So it's really nice. I love to see when people meet up and when you see each other at races or different events. Or I had so much FOMO last week. Can I tell you, when I saw you guys out, I was really, really sad.
That was a whole lot of fun. We used to do that a lot. Before the pandemic, that was kind of a common thing, and you saw it all over the country happen a lot. It wasn't just us. You would like see showrooms would be doing things, and some people would just go to their showroom every Sunday to do a particular ride. It was like a whole different kind of thing. And I know the pandemic kind of quelled that a little bit, but now that we're kind of moving forward a little bit, last weekend kind of reminded me of all that magic that was there. Do you think that from a Beachbody perspective, it sounds like everybody were like partners in that? Was there like the community in itself, were they like that as well?
It's weird because your community that you build is really a part of your team and like the groups that you make.
Yeah.
So either you were part of the team or your coach was a part of the network, so you were connected in some kind of way. So there was some common thread to the business itself. It wasn't hey, I just randomly like picked up a tape and worked out and then we're just going to meet people,
Right. Got it.
An event. Someone connected you in some kind of way in order for the meetup to happen. And then the rest, it took some time for it to organically happen, whereas Peloton is just like right off the rip, hey, I saw you on the leaderboard, I'm doing this race or I'm doing whatever, let's meet up. And it just didn't happen that way with Beachbody. You really did need to have a common thread somehow to the business.
Got it. Yeah. That makes a lot of sense.
I have to say, I can't believe that Jess is here on time.
I know. First of all, I put my alarm on. Y'all, listen, I'm not going to miss another one. All right? I'm not going to miss another one. I got a reoccurring alarm every week. I'm going to be here. You watch.
Hey, don't worry about Jessica. I'm late all the time. Don't worry about Jessica. Tammy beats me here every week. So it don't matter.
I'm like, Jess, where are you? Are you coming? And she's like, oh, I forgot.
All right, it's all
she's
right.
Like,
I got an alarm.
I'm partying.
She wakes up at like 3:15 in the morning to work out. She's probably in bed by now.
I don't care. That is not an excuse. I don't care.
Between Jessica and Danielle, all them damn workouts, I feel like I worked out watching their stories. God damn.
Do you work out more than I do?
You really did not just tell that lie on Clubhouse.
You do work out more than I do. You just don't talk about it. You do. How many minutes you got?
Girl. Let me demote you down.
Let me put myself on mute before I get kicked out.
What's going on, Jessica Sanford? What's going on, Jessica?
Hi, how's it going?
Good, it's good. It's all good.
I can't believe my head is next to Jessica's head. Hi!
When am I coming out there to check you out, Jessica? When are we meeting up again for donuts? When we doing this?
You know what? The minute that showroom opens,
okay,
we're gonna. I mean, come on! It's like screw Peloton. We're just gonna go get donuts.
That's right. That's all we're gonna do. I want to do that anyway with this diet Erica got me on. I'm ready for donuts.
I know. What were those little things with the candles in them? Like I don't know, like flour and water crackers?
I knew that we were trying to celebrate. Well, if you guys don't know, I posted about us celebrating paying the mortgage off of the house. So I knew she wasn't going to eat anything unless it had, low carb. So I had to figure out what's the most low carb thing that looks maybe like a cake. And I couldn't find anything. I ended up like at Whole Foods and I found these little like squares that I don't even know what they were. And I put candles in them. But that's what that was, Jessica.
And John, congratulations on paying your house off. That's an amazing thing, by the way. I was so excited for you.
I appreciate that.
That is amazing.
Well, I appreciate Sheldon. I appreciate you guys. That's cool. But it was good. It was good. She was
what
happy.
What I wanted to say about the magic that is the Peloton community is I came from a gym where we all worked out to a program that the gym had. It's called MASA, Let's Move, and it has all these different things you can do, including cycling. But anyway, we were all so in love with the program, and it would always be the same people in class every week. And, it did seem like, it was a community for me. We didn't really ever get together outside of that, but when I moved to Kansas, I tried to find a gym that had it, and the only one that there was 35-minute drive each direction. And I did it for a while, but it was too much. And so I decided, I really need to find something else. And that's when I found Peloton. And there's no other way to describe it than it is magic. Before the OPP was snarky and bad, we did a whole fundraiser for this guy whose wife, I practically lost her brain or something. I don't know what it was. And that's the kind of thing, that's the way it is. It's like people are so willing to help others. There's so much caring for other people, and this was the perfect fit for me. Even though I don't ever see any of you, I think there definitely is a magic, and I think that Uncle Barry better keep nurturing that.
Well, I want to ask you about. I'm going to ask you in a second, but I'm going to bring you back to that the whole OPMP thing in a minute. So hold that thought. What's going on, Courtney? How's it going?
Hey team, how's it going? I just wanted to comment because I teach, I'm certified to teach yoga, so I actually teach yoga at a boutique studio in the Chicago suburbs, and I just teach at one right now. Pre-COVID, I taught at a gym and a different, not necessarily boutique, kind of a nationwide chain. And what I noticed is that in those smaller groups, so each week I have like 15 to 20 yoga students that come to class. They form connections, we talk about everything, and, but what is different that I find with Peloton is the connections are deeper. So it's not just, hey, let's meet up and go to Courtney's yoga class and how's the kids, this and that. Like Peloton connections run like familial type of deep. And I think it's because people, myself included, you can find not just community, but your tribe. Mm-hmm. So you find what you're passionate about, what you love, whether that's metal, meditation, the hip hop classes of Saturday 60, or like even like the Matchy Matchy crew did a ride for autism awareness, this month. So I think the connections just run like really like family deep, whereas in some of these other connections, it's just kind of like association, like a club kind of thing, whereas like Peloton is like on some gang kind of stuff.
Right. I absolutely agree with that. But you got me. I got a question now. Sheldon, please don't let me forget, because I'm going to have it for you with regards to that disparate kind of breakout communities and the effect of that from an echelon perspective. So I'm going to come back and ask you about that. Chris, what's going on?
Hey, John, how you doing?
Doing good.
I was just going to chime in and say I've kind of seen some similar communities and network effects happen in the music communities as well. So I think it's, slightly stronger in Peloton, but I've definitely seen it in some non-fitness areas as well.
That makes sense. It makes sense in anywhere where you have like common topics, common disciplines, and you all kind of share like a common way of thinking, that there would be some version of that. Like I feel
exactly, yeah.
I get that. That makes a lot of sense. What's going on, Crystal?
Hey, John.
Hey.
I 100% agree with what Courtney was saying about it being a deeper connection at Peloton. And I also think, in addition to the things that she said, I think that another piece of that is that so many of the people that started off at Peloton are still there. You have people that were part of the community way back in 2014, 15. Those people are still part of the community, and those friendships that have formed are still going strong. I mean, that's not something that is typical even in other groups, other kinds of ways that you connect. So I think that makes Peloton special.
That is a good point. I mean, considering like that Peloton has such low churn, so then you can, of course, then there's going to be like all these people that have been around for all this time. And so there's like some longevity to the relationships and the associations with all these people. Yeah, that's a good point. I hadn't thought about it that way. That makes sense. What's going on, Dan? You out there, Dan?
Sorry. Hey, how are you, John?
I'm all good. I'm all good.
Good. No business on this subject. A couple of quick hits and then a quick tangent, but very timely. I have a Peloton phone date with somebody in an hour.
Oh, it worked out. It worked out. This is nice. I like it.
Tonight. So she, right before Duke, North Carolina, she actually reached out to me and was very nice. And we've been messaging each other. We live in different states, and we are supposed to talk tonight at like 8:30 or something. And it's a Peloton date. So I'm laughing. She's great. We both are single parents, so I don't really want to broadcast our relationship next week. Maybe I should have all of you sit in on the phone call or something.
I don't want to. Yeah, I'm not going to want to like dig into what I kind of want to know next week, but I'm not going to press. I'm not.
Yeah, maybe John, you could like give out roses or be like host of the reality show, the dating show, or The Bachelor or something. So she's terrific. She's awesome. We really connected, and it'd be fun to just speak to her tonight. I wouldn't call it a date, but it's just my sense of humor too. The second thing is I found this subject is I think that hashtags are still totally underutilized. Yeah. Like I'm surprised there's not more micro hashtags. Like I don't know if there's a hashtag for this group, but like a lot of people may join, the Love Gang or whatever they all are, Emma's, etc. But I don't know. I just feel like there's more opportunity for micro, smaller groups and micro. I don't know if we're losing me here, but
no, we hear you.
More micro. I think more micro hashtags for smaller groups of people connecting versus the 30,000, 40,000 groups. I just think that's an opportunity. And the third thing, as I mentioned last week, was I keep in touch with people from Homecoming. Homecoming was awesome. I just absolutely loved it and clicked on the thing for people who didn't go to Homecoming last year. I clicked on the thing to go ahead and match up with people and have a 5-minute introduction. And it was addictive. And I ended up staying inside on a beautiful day in Boston last year, just connecting with like 10 people, and I now follow them on Instagram. We ping each other. So it is. I mean, I think it's like you said before, not to go back to the first point, but it's like you can meet a guy or a woman, in a bar or a restaurant. Next thing you know, you're talking about Peloton Who's your favorite? I saw somewhere it's like, who's your favorite instructor is like the pickup line of 2020. So it's, so there's a definite connection. Last thing, in case I do have to hop off, and not to pull you on a tangent, but I'm moving on Monday and I'm terrified about moving my bike. So if there are any tips, and you can hit me up in the chat room or just message me if anyone has moved before with their bike and has any tips. Appreciate it. If you can either chat or direct hit me on Peloton Clubhouse, that'd be great.
Yeah, I don't specifically have any tips on that, but I'm sure there's someone in here who does. So yeah, if you guys want to hit Dan up about that, or just hit me up and I can send it over to Dan, that'd be awesome. Before I forget, I want to jump back to Sheldon. So Sheldon, I think it was Courtney who was talking about how a part of the kind of that closeness relative to the community has to do with, you have like these micro groups, these disparate groups that are smaller, and they're more specific to maybe an instructor or a particular like discipline or, what have you, and that generates that closeness. And I was wondering, like, from an echelon perspective, do they have that? Do you see that there too?
Yeah, that's where most of the interaction happens.
Yeah.
Almost every instructor has their own thing. There's like early morning writers group. That's people that like to write at 6 a.m.
Right.
There's the curvy echelon crew. That's just kind of like a bunch of happy people that get together. And then we have our own, even like I've been in the same chat group for almost 3 years now, and it's the same group of us. We, like I said, we all, like 5 of us flew to Ohio, or I drove to Ohio to see just one friend compete in an Ironman triathlon. And so,
right.
We had one tragic story where someone lost her husband. 4 of her echelon friends got on a bike, got on an airplane, flew to New York, and were with her.
Wow! Wow!
So that connection is there. I mean, look, I can't argue. You guys have been a bigger group for a longer time. So, but these friends are friends for life. I'm not. I do give everything to them, and we support each other anytime there's a special occasion. I've donated hundreds of dollars to just random people I barely know in some regards because I'm just connected to them in a way, and we help each other. I mean, it's a great formula that connected fitness brings, and I say I give Peloton complete credit for creating that initial formula. I mean, you guys were the model. There's no question. But I'm so glad so many different people. I mean, I go to the different pages as well, because of my podcast and stuff, but like iFit, they feel the same way about their people, and Hydro definitely feels that connection with their folks.
Right.
But it's you guys were the model, and I think it's what Connected Fitness has done for millions around the world is just amazing. And I'm just glad so many people get to experience it and build those connections, and as we all learn new ways to do it, that we share, and so we can all benefit from it. I mean,
right.
I've never been so close to people as I have in the last 3 years because of this thing.
I love the crossover though, as well, cross categories, and also cross enterprises and corporations, whether it be Echelon or iFit or Hydro, or Tonal or Beachbody. I like that, there's a litany of us in here that are kind of talking the same perspective around connected fitness. And it's interesting to hear kind of commonalities around this. That's the same thing across these different, these companies. It's really interesting. I'm looking in the chat and I see Jamie Brooks. I see you said that like you're heading out with Peloton folks to the Duke UNC to see Duke UNC. Oh, wait a minute. That's tonight? Oh, wow. That's pretty cool. I remember last year or earlier this year? Last year, they had like a whole Duke UNC Peloton ride because of that rivalry. And I know we were talking about that a couple of weeks ago as to whether or not they were going to do that again. It makes me wonder now that you mentioned that if they did. But before I jump to you, Jamie, let me pull in Stacy. What's going on, Stacy?
Hello. Hi, everybody.
Hey.
I just have a quick tip for Dan with moving your bike, because I did it 3 times in the last 3 years, actually. Oh, wow. And so, first of all, make sure it's under warranty so that if something goes wrong, you could get it fixed. That did happen to me, and they replaced the entire bike after my first move. Second thing is, if you take off your screen, make sure you know exactly how it goes back on, because that could be really challenging. And then the third thing is, if you're not going far, probably people might disagree with this, but I would almost suggest to keep the screen on for the move. I did that twice, and it actually worked out. Everything was fine. That's it. Thank you.
Oh, okay.
Stacey, thank you. I know we know each other a little bit. Thank you so much for those tips, and for Crystal and AR and Courtney and everyone who weighed in. I really appreciate, and Jamie, I appreciate it.
Oh yeah, I'm just looking in the chat, and there's a lot of comments with regards to what you shouldn't, how you should do that from Jessica and Crystal. So that's awesome. Thanks guys for the information. Hey Jamie, I see you're going to the house party in NYC as well as that UNC Duke event, which I saw. I saw that being advertised in the Boo Crew, and I was almost tempted to go myself. but that's awesome.
Yeah, I'm excited. I'm headed out to the bar to meet up with some folks to watch the game. I'm super late, but I was like, well, I don't really care about the first game, so I decided to join Clubhouse for a little while before I'm literally getting ready to jump in the car. But
that's awesome.
I'm also headed up in 2 weeks to New York to meet up with some people I met via Peloton, and just go and hang out. We're meeting up with actually one of the instructors. And then again, I'm going up in July for the Boo Crew thing. So even though I'm not an OG and I've only been a member for like 2 years, I've definitely made a lot of really deep connections. And I'm in a lot of the groups. I love all of the instructors. So I've got my fingers a little bit in everything. So even though there's definitely, I'd say, newer members, some of us have a lot of, we're envious of you guys that have been around forever. And when you talk about those relationships from way back when, I definitely kind of kick myself like, gosh, why didn't I do it back then? But there's still definitely a lot of that same feeling with some of us newer folks too.
That's a common kind of perspective. I did the same thing. Like, I started looking at the Peloton in like late 2015, early 2016, but I didn't actually buy it until October 2016, right? And I do the same thing. I'm like, damn, how come I didn't buy it in 2015? Like what? Well, I mean, there were some, there were some things that were going on back then, and I like lost out because I didn't get there then. I think that's just inevitable. I think we all kind of do that. But anyways, yeah, I think that ultimately, yeah, I'm with you, Sheldon. I'm with what everybody's pretty much saying. That I think there's an element relative to connected fitness that brought like a deeper kind of connection between people and fitness. But it's interesting to see that you can see that across companies, regardless, as long as it's a connected fitness type platform. You see that. That's an interesting thing to talk about. Anyway, I'll move on to the next topic, which I don't even know if I should be talking about now because Peloton, they told me I was supposed to pull that. So I guess I was spitting information I wasn't supposed to spit. So I posted about the guide and the different packages that were about to drop, and then I had to pull my post. So
not you getting in trouble with Big Brother.
I'm over here getting in trouble. I'm causing problems. I had to go delete stuff.
Uncle Barry. Peloton. Do you know who I am?
And then I had this all on the agenda, and I can't talk about this now. I ain't had time to pull it off.
It's public that the guide's dropping this week, I think.
All right. Well,
why did you? What happened? Because I got similar information, John, and I was told it was okay to share.
I was told I wasn't. So I don't know.
Are you all guide testers?
No.
I've signed no NDA.
I ain't signed no NDA, but I can't be talking about stuff. They told me I can't, so I stopped.
Move along. Nothing to see here. Move along.
So the guy's coming out. I guess that's all we can say. The guy's coming out, y'all. That's all I can say. I don't know. So I'll leave it at that.
We have a sales rep in the chat, Kia Adams. So if anyone needs to order, call.
That's right. Call Kia.
I have one question, John. Is anyone who's buying it?
Well, you know what? When I posted that thing, somebody came back. Like I must have got like 5 people and said, I'm about to call Kia right now. People just, hopefully you got them calls, Kia. I don't know if you got them. They could have been lying to me, but they said they were calling you.
I will say the base price is a lot less than I thought it was going to be, and that pricing structure is not bad at all.
That's because
for the amount of weight you're going to get when you go up to that next package or the top tier package, that's not bad.
That's because the demand wasn't what they thought it was going to be, so they reduced it. Like the stuff that we heard at the beginning was accurate, and it's just not doing as well. So I think that's the reason. But I agree with you, Danielle, and I'm definitely going to get it because at that price, might as well get it to test it, even if I never use it.
Well, and plus you could do the 30-day home trial.
Oh, I don't know if they're going to do that at the beginning. They haven't done that at the beginning, like when they first drop stuff all the time consistently. So I don't know if they're doing that.
It said it on their website.
Did it say that? Yeah. I didn't know that. That's a good point, though.
Well, I can't talk about that because I had to pull that.
So here's my question. So yesterday, I guess it was, I noticed that all of a sudden I could see light arms and weights on my treadmill. And then I hopped over to my bike to see if I could see strength classes. And I could see the 45-minute classes for strength on my bike, which I could not see before. So is that all because the guide is coming out on Tuesday? Is that why they made that update, I wonder? To the strength features?
That's a really interesting question because my understanding is that the guide is going to have exclusive content. So you would think that it would be less visible instead of more visible. So I think that's a great question.
I always saw the 45-minute strengths on my bike, though. Did I have like a weird setting? Like
I never saw them.
Oh.
I could see bar, I could see Pilates, I could see like core stuff, but like 30 minutes and 45 minutes, I couldn't see those on my bike.
That's because they was watching your stories and they was like, she work out enough. Don't put that stuff on our child bike. That's what happened.
Peloton was censoring my workout.
They was censoring your shit. They was like, hell no.
They're definitely on the bike, Danielle. They're there. They've been there for me.
I swear they were not there. And
you just run out of classes to take. You probably had a filter on.
I'm taking them all. Is that what you're telling me?
That's all it was. Oh, Kia said.
Weights and arms was definitely not on the bike, though. I mean, on the tread.
Oh, okay. I don't know.
Weren't on the tread because I don't remember. Tuna's the only light weights and arms that I usually take, and she wasn't on the tread.
Yeah.
So for sure that changed.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I don't know.
Joking. I can't hide from her now. She's followed me to the tread. I can't escape it.
Kia says she got 5 calls. Okay, Kia, they better have called you.
Awesome.
They sent me a message. I was gonna send them a message back. Okay, you got 5 calls. Okay.
I'm trying to figure out a way that maybe I could attach it to my bike screen. Does this thing need to be on a flat surface? Too bad. Next thing you know, someone's going to be making a clip for it so you can have it on your bike screen.
I mean,
the guide on your bike screen?
Nah, you can't on your bike screen.
Come on your bike screen. That looks like it has to sit on something.
Yeah.
I mean, just from looking at it, I'm not a tester, so I don't know. But looking at the pictures, it doesn't look like it can be like on your bike screen. It looks too big.
Oh man.
Yeah,
Tell me that.
I'm not sure how would you use it on your bike. I mean, I'm not sure what would be the purpose there. What am I missing?
You could have the class going on there and the clip and the guide on your bike on the top of the screen. Top of the monitor.
No haps, Jess.
I don't know.
Just as an FYI, in the chat, he did say there will be a 30-day trial. So if you're not checking out the chat, she did say that.
Oh, okay, that's right. That's right. I saw that.
Thank you.
That's good. That's good. I'm glad she said that because I can't say that.
Sorry, got plenty of other agenda items to get through.
Uncle Barry is just one more person with an alert on your name, John.
Yep.
Yeah,
he said John's agenda is too long.
That's right. He saw the agenda. That's how this whole thing dropped, huh? Uncle Barry saw the agenda and he was like,
made a phone call.
He made a phone. What this dude out here talking about guides for? That's what happened. All right. Well, now we know all there is to know about the guide, at least as much as we could talk about. So I'll move on. Otherwise, we'll never make it through all these 800 items I got listed. I guess I should do a room reset. So this is your weekly wellness check where we talk about the connected fitness industry. We talk a lot about Peloton. We talk about our fitness journeys. It's meant to be light conversation for the weekend, not meant to be any stress. So if you feel comfortable coming up on stage, please feel free to come up and join the conversation. It's meant to be forum type discussion. So just hit the hand in the lower right of your screen. We'll bring you on stage. If that's uncomfortable for you, please don't feel any stress. Just hang out in the audience and just listen, or go in the chat and, and that's where the fun is. Like, I'm in there trying to figure out how to type and talk and it's not working, but go in the chat. That's cool too.
There's also a Facebook group, RunLiftAndLive, that you can come and check out during the week before we actually get to Saturday, where we chat about all the same things and we, start our backstory.
That's right.
Before we get here on Saturday.
That's right. I always forget that too. Yeah, join Run, Lift, and Live on Facebook, our Facebook group. All the items that we're talking about here are all they just come all from posts during the week. So there's already like a there's pre-conversation that's been had on these topics that we do during the week.
And don't invite Kari to speak because
wait a minute.
I haven't forgiven him for the whole Emma Lovewell and the damn paddle boat with the cat.
That was funny.
His rower content.
That was funny.
Forgiven. So he
that was so last week.
I haven't forgiven him though. So he can't speak.
Oh man.
What's going on, Kari?
I thought I was gonna get a little bit of a break.
Nah, man. Nah.
She's got a chip on her shoulder.
What kind of boat was that, Kari? What kind of boat was that?
Man, I have maybe a regatta? What do you call those boats? Like, I don't know.
I don't know what it was, but that's hilarious. How's it going?
It's going well. We're in the car on the way to Florida for spring break, so it might sound a little choppy. It's raining right now, but...
Hi, Lisa!
I'm sorry.
Hi,
Hey!
everybody!
Wait a minute. So last week, was it your anniversary?
2 weeks ago.
2 weeks ago. 2 weeks ago. Okay. Belated happy anniversary. And now you're headed to on vacation?
Spring break. Our daughter.
Awesome. That's awesome. Well, hope you guys have a whole lot of fun. That sounds like a lot of fun. Rain doesn't sound like fun, but spring break sounds fun.
Yeah, for sure. No, the rain's not fun. But I had to come up because you were talking about Uncle Barry.
Yeah.
And he kind of shut you down. I was thinking about the sock, the homie sock. You remember that? I feel like he hit you with the sock.
He hit me with the
homie don't play that.
He hit me with the homie don't play that sock. I gotta get one of them shirts now. Actually, I changed the posters behind me every week. I'm gonna have to get it in living color. Homie don't play that poster now. I gotta find one. That's the next one I'm looking for.
That is hilarious.
Yeah, he hit me with...
got smacked by homie don't play that sock.
Yeah, I got hit with the homie don't play that sock. He told me I can't be talking about no guides. That's what happened. Well, I hope you guys have fun. Tell Lisa we said hi, Kari.
We will, definitely, man.
All right. Let's see. So what do we have next? So we went through the guide. Oh, wait. I wanted to ask everybody about... you remember last week, Tonal was talking about having that Tonal Strength Institute Summit. And it was supposed to be like an all online thing, and you're supposed to be able to go into these virtual rooms, and then there were conference type discussions going on. And I saw like a clip, and Ali O'Radi, the CEO, was on stage, and he was talking about like some of the mechanics of Tonal, and there was all this stuff that happened. I never got to go to that, nor did I get to go to the Peloton conversation thing that they had a few days prior. So I don't know if anyone, maybe no one saw it, maybe no one went to it, but if anybody went to that whole Tonal Strength Institute Summit.
Tonal one.
Oh yeah, okay. How was it?
It was good. It was a different vibe than I was expecting. I thought it would be a little more entertainment based, and it was more like we're at a corporate meeting. But it was really good information, and it was really awesome to kind of hear hints of some of the things that are coming in the future.
You know what I thought I heard, maybe it was you that told me this, Crystal. Is there another version of the Tonal that's already out?
So it's not another version. They only have one version out, but I was at the Tonal store, at the Nordstrom's that they have locally, and I was checking it out, and it's like some of the material finishes are slightly different. So I definitely wouldn't call it like a new version, but you can tell updates to some of the materials have been done.
Got it. Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. That's cool. So that's cool. That's interesting that it was more. It sounds like you said it's more like kind of corporate conference type stuff.
Yeah, it was like a bunch of people sitting in like a conference room listening to a speaker. More like, what a good example of it is? A TED Talk.
Yeah.
Like a TED Talk.
Yeah, that's what the videos looked like. Yeah, you're okay. That makes sense. And I guess that's more traditional, right? I don't know why my mind is thinking, oh, you're going to a tonal event and there's going to be a whole bunch of like activity. But generally conferences are what you just said. So that actually makes sense if I had thought about it.
Well, and I think they're also still battling, COVID. I suspect, I know they're planning on doing this every year, and I suspect it will continue to evolve and grow as it goes on.
Hey, Courtney, you said you listened to a few of them, and you said you heard something about they talk on identity. That's.
That wasn't Tonal. That was the Peloton community chat.
Got it.
We had about identity, so it was a different one. I was just saying I did block it off on my work calendar so I could attend that one.
Oh, got it. Oh, okay. How was that?
I enjoyed it. It was facilitated by Camila.
Okay.
And Charlotta, the German instructor.
Yep.
As well as Dr. Irabunda, who is a OBGYN. She's a physician, but she's, consults or works with Peloton. She was really heavy when Robin was doing her pre and postnatal work. I thought it was very interesting. And I think it ties, I believe the replay is available for a little bit, but I really think it ties to why Peloton is magic, is that it allows individuals to show up as themselves and however they identify, she, her, non-binary, Black, white, Latina, working mom, regular mom, plant dad. Like, it allows you to show up in whatever you identify with. Yep. And how that fostering is so important for yourself, as well as building community around you, building your tribe around you. It was about like a 40-minute conversation, and I really enjoyed it. They had some really good questions that were even just kind of really good, just things to reflect on for yourself. So I hope they continue to do. I know they did some of this stuff around like homecoming and different things, but I think just kind of these, talks throughout the year would be really good. It's driving home that it's more than just fitness, which is, I think, your first part of the agenda, is that it's more than just taking a class. It's about building community. It's about yourself and self-discovery and how strong you are, just different things. So it was a very positive talk.
That's interesting because, it makes me wonder, like, I hear that same message coming from Tunde in Fitness Flipped. And she, that's kind of a common theme, that, she talks from different angles, and that talk, it seems to have been very similar. Like, it makes me wonder if that's just something that, Peloton has taken on, or if that's just like, if there's like some psychological based evidence around that concept and physical fitness, which they're now kind of, injecting into connected fitness because that research. It makes me wonder because it's like that's like a common topic.
I agree. I think what they're doing, which the research and the data has, been out there. I'm a pharmacist by trade, so I've always believed that movement is medicine. I think sometimes we move to a pill first rather than trying other things, of course, within, medical reasoning and sound medical advice. But I think what they are trying to do with kind of Tunde's podcast and these types of conversations is to say that it's more than just a workout. Like, the studies show that, it helps with your mental health. It helps with your diet. If you have a particular disease state or disorder, that it's more than just a 30-minute bike class. It's connection with others. It's addressing loneliness. It's addressing any other chronic diseases. So I think that they are moving to say this isn't just a bike, right?
Right.
This is a part of a full, well-rounded kind of wellness program to be tagged on with and running tangential to however you're taking yourself, kind of medically with your own wellness team. So I am seeing that common theme, and I think it's a positive conversation to get more people moving. And I think Robin also uses this as her platform as well, as movement as medicine, that it's not just a bike. It's not just a 60-minute boot camp class. It's much more than that.
It's that element that kind of made me, I had been kind of hard on the Fitness Flipped podcast, but this last week's episode focused on a similar concept, and talking to those type of things I kind of find interest in, which we'll talk about that later. That's on the agenda, but that's interesting. Cool. Anybody else have any comments on those two things, or attended either of those?
Can I just ask you a quick question?
Yeah.
Was Robin part of the Peloton one at all?
No, not this one. It was just Camila I say Charlotte, but I think it's Charlotta, the German instructor, and the consultant OBGYN physician. I don't know if she's on a board. I forgot her exact, but I know
advisory board. Yeah,
the advisory board. Yeah, but no, Robin wasn't on this particular conversation. And I think that Camilla was very good about talking about her identity, like in the Latin community, like body image and different things. Charlotte was more of, I didn't realize she actually is I don't quite know if in German it translates, but she's a physician, like in the hospital as well. So it was kind of interesting to hear her thoughts, as well as being both kind of physician and instructor now. And then Dr. Irabunda's vantage point of her being more like a whole being physician, like not just treating like what's in front, but all the other underlying like conditions, and realizing that it's not just, say, this particular disorder in isolation, but it's a number of different things. But Robin was not a part of this. However, Robin's own medical history, I really would love to see. I know she was a part of one last year about like pre and postnatal care and how that works with exercise with Dr. Irabunda, but no, she wasn't a part of this one.
Thank you. I was just curious because she was featured on the artwork for it, which I thought was interesting. So I didn't know if there was some kind of tie-in, but maybe they just used the same artwork from last year. But thank you.
You bet.
Cool. All right, let me move on to the next topic. This one's an interesting one because, remember a week or two ago we were talking about all of the Peloton apparel sales and everything, and we were saying, Uncle Barry must be out here. He just trying to do fire sales, get rid of all this stuff. Now, since we had that conversation and we talked a little bit about it last week, there was a drop this week, right? I think it just was like one set. I don't know if it was a whole lot of stuff. It looked like it was like one set that dropped. And then on April 1st, I think they had like a one-day sale where like they had a whole bunch of things 30% off. So like there's like more going on now with apparel, as if they're truly trying to push that that stuff. The question I have, so Erica saw the floral thing that CDE was wearing. And I said, that's pretty nice, Erica. Maybe you should pick that up. And she said, now that they done showed me that they'll drop the prices down to $15, I ain't buying nothing full price no more. Which got me thinking, like, did they shoot themselves in the foot? Is anybody buying anything full price anymore with Peloton?
Nope.
Nope. Right.
No, I have everything. Everything's been on sale. I have all of 2021 in my closet right now.
You already have it. That's why you ain't buying. You already have everything, right?
I'm not paying full price for anything. If I could get sports bras for Walmart prices, I'll wait until they drop the Walmart prices. Why would I give them my money now?
That's what I'm saying. I mean,
problem. I have hot booty, right? So I actually do have a problem when it's a really nice set that I want to get it right away.
You're going to get it right.
Fell out of my size.
I feel you. That sounds like something I would do. That's me too.
But I do get hot booty. Some things I'm like, okay, cool, let it rock. But if it's a really nice set, now I'm going to get it right away.
Yeah, see.
I think new people will grab it too. I think you get the excitement, the FOMO. You guys are seasoned,
right?
I think you understand what the game is now,
right? Yeah.
Here's my prediction, John. It's Dan. I'm still hanging in here for another couple minutes. I mean, not prediction. I definitely think they want to get out of apparel, and they should. It's just not going to help meet their numbers. But we were talking about this last week. If I were them, I would give out apparel for milestones. Like, if you're going to sell it for $9, you might as well have your most passionate people wearing it. So if you hit 1,000 rides, 2,000 rides, whatever it is on the tread, like, send people the clothing. It seems like you keep your influencers and your Johns of the world and your Danielles of the world in apparel out as your ambassadors. I would send it out as rewards for hitting milestones. The $9 can't help them, with their $1.5 million deficit. $1.5 billion deficit they have.
Well, see, you just brought up another question. Well, before I get to that question, I'll hold it. I see my friend Lori. What's going on, Lori?
Hey, John, how are you?
Doing good, doing good.
To that point, actually, Amy hit, what did you hit? 15,000 or something like that. Remember that whole thing where they sent out, like, do you want...
That's what that was exactly what I was about to ask. And anyway,
did anybody get it yet? Because my wife is still waiting.
No, I'm waiting.
Dang.
What's the problem?
I want it to be personalized.
That's exactly what I was about to ask about. Yeah, nobody got it yet? We still waiting on this?
Don't you think that's going to show up just before homecoming?
Oh, you're right.
I do.
That's right.
Because I think in the past they've done all those like packages. You remember last year it was like, oh, if you're a person who high fives a lot, or if you're a person, I can't remember all the different categories they had, but they sent out like all these packages to people. And I think that's what the 15,000 is this year. And I think they're going to start showing up just before things.
You're right.
Just before homecoming.
You're right. That's what it is. Hey, tell Amy we said hi, Lori.
She says hi. She says hi.
Okay. All right. Yeah, I was just about to ask that. That's a good question. Yeah, I was wondering the same thing.
Well, and to that point about apparel, I mean, you had a drop and a sale within, 5 days of each other? So, I mean, and I think I'm agreeing with everybody here. I think apparel, I think all of this was in the pipeline, given the supply chain issues that had happened during COVID. You had not an apparel person heading up apparel. I think they put everything in the pipeline and they placed their orders probably a year ago for some of these items. And I think what you're seeing is now Uncle Barry's got to clean it up where all of this stuff has already been ordered. You can't go back and renege. You've got to pay for it. Now they're just drop sale to try to just move the items. I think that's a little bit of what we're seeing now is everything's starting to come in.
Okay, that's a little different than what I was suggesting. You're probably right. But okay, what I think I hear you saying is they ordered all this stuff and we already know that connected fitness started kind of taking a dive around September of last year. And so there weren't as many people buying bikes and buying equipment. I would assume that would affect apparel. And it sounds like what you're saying is now they got all this inventory and they got to now figure out how to get rid of all this inventory that they planned for that now, they're just sitting here. They got to get rid of it.
Isn't a lot of the stuff that's on sale stuff that's been around, though?
Yeah, that's a good point.
I mean, no, not necessarily.
Okay, I don't know. So you guys know this.
Some of the newer stuff is on sale, like their Caden bras and stuff. The Caden bras are new. They just came out when they came out with their own Peloton apparel. Then they dropped like the Caden line and some of the other ones. So it's a lot of the newer stuff that's on sale. And I definitely think that's what it is.
So that's what I was saying, Sheldon. I think
that they ordered a lot based on numbers from the previous years, and now they're stuck with all this inventory. So they have to sell it off.
Yeah, I got a feeling they're going to partner with someone and not hold the inventory. And it doesn't feel smart.
Yeah,
that's what Can I jump in here?
Yes, jump in, Pam.
Thanks, John. I never understood why Peloton took the risk of having inventory. The entire entertainment industry and the sports industry license their products, so they never have the inventory risk. They get a royalty. They have oversight over production standards, quality standards, that where it can be sold. And I wouldn't be surprised if that's the direction they go in. But It's quite risky to be having your own inventory, and they've cross promoted with various brands. But I think it just makes more sense long term to be like the rest of the world. I never understood why they did this. But anyway, that's my opinion.
I think it is Jill.
Well, yeah, I guess that's true. I mean, honestly, early on, I know I had communicated with Crystal that I never understood, when Peloton sat back and let all these affinity groups use their logo. I mean, professional sports entertainment, it's all about your intellectual property and controlling it and profiting from it. And and they walk back on that. I just think they're sort of, they knew about the bikes and the fitness, but sort of late to the game on how the sports business is run.
I think they just overestimated Mercari and all of the people that were paying, EGOD's amount of money over what you would pay because everything sold out. I think they saw a revenue stream and kind of jumped on it, hoping that it would kind of bolster the sagging, over lack of equipment sales. I think the apparel was just a blindsided decision that inexperienced people made.
And then if you consider that, Lululemon isn't hurting. I mean, we just saw their earnings and they had a beat. The only place where they seemed to struggle was with Mirror. Right? But their apparel business, through all of this downtrend of connected fitness, hasn't hurt their apparel business at all. They've been succeeding. So it makes you wonder if, like, during that time that Peloton was seeing troubled water, were they thinking, just as you've said, that if we were more akin to Lulu, then we could counter it? Like, it makes you wonder if that was their thinking.
I think Peloton ran into problems when they decided to do these drops so frequently,
and
when they increased their numbers, which I understand why they increased their numbers, because people would complain all the time about the fact that they were sold out so quickly.
Yep.
In the popular sizes. So they kind of did it as like, okay, here now we have more. But then that also kind of decreased demand, because now it's not as like a hot item to get it. Because like, oh, well, everybody can get it. I can go 1 in 2 weeks and order the same item that dropped. Whereas like before, when they used to drop, they literally would be sold out within like a couple hours.
Right.
Like, I mean, I can remember being on a live class and just being like, this is probably going to be live when you're done. And me and my friends would be texting each other and be like, I'm live doing, did you get it?
Yeah.
Now you don't kind of have that anticipation because it's not going to sell out. So it's kind of like a vicious cycle. They increased the inventory to meet demand because people were complaining that stuff was selling out. But now, because they increased the inventory, people don't want to buy it as much because it's not as, exclusive. At least that's my opinion.
I think scarcity makes demand, and overabundance means sales. So I think that's, Danielle, you're exactly right. They thought, geez, the drops are like crazy. I'm like, how many drops can they do in like 4 weeks now? It is. We used to look. Just think.
Did I drop or Lori dropping?
I think Lori's dropping.
Oh, okay. Okay. Sorry, Lori, you were dropping out on us.
But she's right. I mean, it's a supply-demand curve, and I think they were seeing when they had scarcity, people were reselling this stuff for 3 times what they paid for it. They said, "Well, we can make some of that money. Let's make more of this stuff." And again, it's inexperience in the apparel business. At least that's what it looks like.
Yeah.
I think Lululemon has the opposite problem. They have the experience in connected fitness.
Right.
So, I mean, do what you're good at.
Right. And Craig in the chat is talking about how Lululemon manages their inventory like extremely tight. And I think that kind of aligns with some of the other things that you guys are saying here. It's like they're experienced at that. They know how to do that. They do that really well. That's why they've succeeded even through all of this, everything that's kind of gone on with that. And it's like as if Peloton just didn't have that level of experience. Yeah, I hear you.
I agree, John. I think one of the things that we don't realize is Lululemon always has a sale. And I think they always have products that are on sale. Anytime I go to a Lululemon, I go straight to the sale rack, and a lot of times I see that they typically have stuff. So, but I don't necessarily get an email every day or every 2 weeks about a sale that they have. So
right.
I don't know if it's how they're presenting it, or if of course they got to have more supply, like we've talked about, and everybody's talking about. But still, I think that having sales are necessary. But I don't know about calling people back to the website every week to say that they have a sale is the best thing.
Hey,
and then you can't go back.
Right.
After this, you can't go back to not putting things on sale.
Right. Hey, Danielle, do you think that the dynamic of the excitement around the apparel has anything to do with the fact that we used to all be heading to studios and showrooms to ride? Because I remember back then, like, the drops were not only a big deal because they were more scarce, it was also a big deal because some things you couldn't quite get online yet, but you can go to the showroom and get it. And then once you got it, you kind of wanted to show it. And so you would go to the showroom or to the studio and you'd be wearing it there in these group settings. Like the events were a part of the driver for the apparel. Do you think that, I mean, I'm just thinking out loud. Do you think that's part of this? There are no events anymore.
I didn't really. I kind of feel like that the start of COVID and the pandemic and everyone being home, I felt like that really drove the apparel because everybody wanted to put it on and take their pictures and like post them and be like, I'm working out not only on my Peloton, but now I'm wearing Peloton gear and it's exclusive and, you know, only like 500 people have this sports bra or 500 people have this outfit. Yeah. So I kind of felt like that is what drove it more so than when we were in person. Because when people could go in person, one, I had not been to a studio, but, you know, I got my bike in 2018. I didn't have one single piece of Peloton apparel. I didn't even know they had apparel. Like, that wasn't even a thing for me. Yeah. But once COVID hit and, like, all my friends in the groups were posting their at-home pictures of them working out in Peloton apparel, I'm like, oh, they have gear? Let me go look again.
Yeah, and I was just the opposite.
I started finding out.
I was just the opposite. It was when I was going to the studio to ride every week that I could not come home with something. It was guaranteed that I was going to pick up something.
Right.
But once I just started riding at home, like, I don't care. I'll dig out my Old Navy collection. I don't really give a shit what I wear.
That's me. I'm at home.
Now, I was with Danielle. I didn't pay full price for any Peloton apparel until we were at home. Because when I was going to studio or pass by, it's like whatever was on the sales rack. And nobody really had Peloton back in 2016, 17. So I looked like an idiot with my Peloton shirt. They're like, what's that? Like, I didn't wear it often. It wasn't until like COVID and that hit and everyone was rocking. I was like, I need this and I need it now. And the scarcity really did make you want it.
I feel like
the scarcity is the key.
Yeah.
I feel like there's another layer here too that all of the designs started looking the same. If you go back to that 2018, I feel like between 17 and 18, there were a whole lot of designs that were unique. And then as we got into 2019, they started to be more the same. And then by the time we got to 2020, I feel like it was kind of the same stuff over and over again, just different colors. Yeah. And I think that affected everything too.
That's a good point. I've heard others kind of have that same sentiment about the uniqueness of each collection. Yeah, that's a good point. I see you in the chat, Nicole. I was the same way. I was like, I'm about to go in here and take this picture with these instructors. I can't be in here wearing these 15-year-old sweats. So I would I would buy apparel just for that post-ride picture. So yeah, and then of course, you know, we there. So Erica was picking up something, right? Erica was in. Wait a minute, Erica's here. Let me calm down. What's going on, Anisha?
Hi, what's going on?
No, I'm doing good.
So I just wanted to kind of comment on, I think, what Crystal was saying about the apparel and probably the changes in the lines.
Yeah.
From my perspective, I mean, I got my bike, I would say probably around 2019. So coming into it, maybe a little bit before the pandemic and everything probably hit. But I think a lot of the variety you saw had to do a lot with the contracts and the deals they had with different vendors. And because they started to do their own thing, everything got more homogenous. So rather than being able to collaborate with other people that have fitness lines and can bring in their ideas, when you started to see it look more of the same, it was because a lot of those deals tapered off. Just like now, when you look at their stuff, maybe you see a sprinkle of Nike and you see some with, but those are because they have longer contracts with them that haven't expired yet. So that's why we're getting all of the same and not so much of the difference anymore.
That makes perfect sense to me. And I also think that was around the time that Peloton really started cracking down about their IP. And so I think that had something to do with it too. They started trying to be very careful about how they were using their logos and what their logos look like, where in the past they had been more open-minded. I think what you're saying makes a lot of sense, Anisha.
Yeah, that adds up.
Yeah, I mean, it's really unfortunate because a lot of it did look good, and I liked it, and I think that was another reason why people also were driven to it, because you didn't have as much product, but you also didn't know what the line was going to be, and now you pretty much anticipate it, so there's not that same ooh-ah sensation when you see the line come out. You just wait for it to go on sale.
100%.
Yeah, but I'm also with the whomever said that once we weren't going in the studio anymore, like it all kind of slowed up for me. Like now I'm like what am I buying gear for? Like I might well put on these 15-year-old sweats now. There was just no excitement in the drops for me anymore. It would really have, before I might just get anything. Now I would really have to like it. It would have to be the bomb. It'd have to be the Tribe Called Quest, and they didn't have a whole lot of good men's stuff with the Tribe Called Quest drop. But it would have to be something like that I was just really, really into now.
John, what if they dropped a sleeveless collection for you?
See, they don't have that.
No sleeves. You don't even need to cut them.
See, they don't have that.
For you.
Exactly. Go ahead, Danielle.
And I was just going to say, I don't think they have a lot in the men's line anyway, quite honestly.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe because men don't really care, so they don't buy it anyway. So that's not their demographic that they're trying to appease. But every time you look at it, you're like, man, that's all you have in the men's department? Like, the same tired shorts, just in a different color. Like, they just don't offer a lot.
Yeah, I hear you. And then they had the Midnight Marauder shirt, tank top for the women, this last with the Tribe Called Quest drop, and they didn't have nothing but those short shorts with Midnight Marauder for the men. Like, I'm gonna wear that, like I'm John Stockton or something. I'm not wearing that, But here I go again talking about how short the shorts are with Peloton. I'll stop. They seem like they're too short. I can't wear those. I'm not trying to show all kinds of thigh.
I mean, are they as short as rad shorts? Because if not, that boy wears some short shorts.
I ain't trying to wear all that. Maybe I'm not showing that I'm old. Is that what it is? Do guys just wear shorts that short now? I'm just old now?
They are super short now, and it's so funny because I said to my kids, I remember this last summer when my boys were getting swim trunks. They all wanted the short swim trunks. Like, I was buying them the board shorts.
Yeah.
And none of them wanted the board shorts. They all wanted the short. I'm like,
see,
this is back in style? Like, this is what's happening right now?
See, that's what it is. It's like the skinny jeans. I can't wear those either. That's what it is. I think I realized I just got old. That's what it is. They wear short shorts and skinny jeans now.
I was about to say the same thing. I was about to say the same thing.
That's what it is.
I think the skinny jeans are out.
Jeans? No.
What is it, Kari? Say it again. Go ahead, Kari. What did you say? I didn't catch it.
I'm sorry. I was saying the ankles on the jeans. You don't want to show ankles on jeans.
You ain't want to right. I ain't trying to show no ankle. See, it's all off now. It's all off. It's switched up, and I'm left behind. That's what it is. I was putting on some jeans to go into the city a few weeks ago, and Erica's like, when did you buy those jeans? They are way too big. They're clearly not from this era. So, I mean, I guess I need to update my wardrobe. I don't know.
But I think the skinny jeans are out because my 17-year-old had on jeans that had patchwork on them and they were loose, and I laughed at them. It was like, why are you laughing? I'm like, because these jeans look like they're from the 90s. Like, they weren't like so big where they're like falling off of them, like the, you know, like the super baggy jeans, but they were definitely loose and not skinny, and they had literally patchwork on them. And I was like, wow, like you guys are really like going back to my teenage years of dressing. So I don't know. I think skinny jeans are out, but I think that I think dress slacks that are skinny where the ankles show, I think those are still in.
You guys, we all sound like parents right now.
We do, right? We do. And by the way, Dan, I do have some acid wash in my closet. I don't wear it though, but I do. I see you in the chat. I don't wear that no more. All right, I'll move on to the next one, which is one that I think, Nicole, you mentioned in the chat. Someone told me, I didn't see this. Someone told me this, that there's like instructor quote collection coming out. I didn't know that. There is. Anybody know anything about that?
Peloton posted something on socials about asking for everybody's favorite instructor quotes. And they were like, oh, did we miss yours? Like your favorite. They said, and it was from the apparel team, and they said they were working on something special. So I think everyone's just gathering from that. That must mean that something's coming out with the instructor quotes. They haven't like announced officially what they're doing, but that's that's what everybody's thinking.
Oh. And somebody posted a link to a page.
Oh yeah, they did.
Instructor
yeah, you're totally right. I saw that, but I don't know. I'm kind of worried it's not going to be fun stuff like it was before. I'm a little skeptical of this one.
You know, you remember they did this before, right? And then they had, but it was like different pieces, like one for each instructor, right?
Well, they had. Okay, so way back,
right.
They had each instructor did a capsule collection, and like then in like 2018 they did the first instructor collection, and that was like what they had all the tights with all the words on it, and like that was around the same time they had like the matching shirts. And then the next year they did a separate instructor collection, and that was when you had like that was like after the tread had launched, because I remember that like Rebecca Kennedy said hot damn on it for some reason, because she doesn't really say that much,
right?
And it was funny, but that was like the second set, and then they haven't done it again since then. So
you know, I used that shirt in my parody. So I remember that.
I remember that.
So a couple weeks ago, Allie had on a sports bra and matching tights with Boston bike, and it was right before a Peloton apparel drop. Like it was like the day before. So I was like, oh my god, this is happening tomorrow. I'm totally buying this sports bra and these tights. I need them in my life. And then they weren't there. So I DM'd her and I was like, I need this set. And she just laughed at me, right? So I'm like, Allie, that's not the appropriate response. You need to tell me how I can get this sports bra and these tights. And then I found out that it's actually an old set that is not new. But the fact that she was just wearing it like a couple weeks ago makes me wonder if that's going to be one of the ones that they bring back. Because she literally just had it on maybe like 3 weeks ago at this point. I don't know. The time's flying by so quickly.
Bring stuff back. Okay.
Yeah, like if they'll revisit like some of that older stuff, because I know they did all have them, or maybe they'll update it, because they did ask for everyone's opinion on what sayings people would like, or per instructor. And I think they did like the most popular instructors. So they had like Rebecca. I remember Cody was on there. I remember Jess and Allie. I don't remember everyone else that was on there, but
they gotta update that.
The ones who kind of have like a lot of catchphrases.
They gotta update that stuff now, though. Yeah, like a throwback. Yeah, they gotta update that stuff now, because I got the original Alex Toussaint, sweat, jumpsuit, sweats, and top, and it's got the feel good, look good, do better, like across the lower side and all that. Like, does he even really say that much anymore? Like, he got like 10 other quotes now. Like, wouldn't they have to I don't know if they could just throw back. They got to have new stuff now, right?
I hope so.
Yeah, I'm hoping they do too.
My favorite capsule collection though was like Robin's, the one that she had that black tank top that was like, we don't do basic. I remember, I still have that. People went crazy for that tank top. Does everybody remember that?
Yeah, I remember that. And people went crazy for all of that stuff back then. I wonder if they're thinking that people are going to go crazy again, but because it's just a different time, a different, different generation of Peloton rider, and just a different thing, that they're thinking something that won't happen. It makes me wonder, right?
Well, I know that for the You Get To crew, we have a little drop coming up. That's going to be some drip towel accessories. That's going to have Jess's sayings on them and her favorite colors. So y'all be on the lookout for those. It's not sports bra or pants, but it is a towel for your bike. So
we're going to be on the lookout.
Be on the lookout for that. It's gonna support a charity as well. So
okay,
just keep your eyes peeled. I'll be sure to post it in the group. But while we're talking about instructor sayings, I figured I'd let you guys know.
That's cool. Okay, yeah, we'll definitely be looking for that. I'll jump to the next topic. Now, the next one I think we could have talked about last week because it was like occurring while we were talking, and that is Selena Samuela's marriage. That her wedding was all going on. I think while we were talking, or had just occurred just prior to us talking. So I saw an article. So People Magazine did a whole exclusive where they've got a whole bunch of pictures. It was by Lindsay Kimball, and she's got all these exclusive photos of the wedding, and it shows Selena and all her beautiful dress and her flowers, and it's got pictures of like 16 instructors like in like a semicircle, and like I don't know how many instructors were there, but there were clearly a whole bunch of them, and the setting where they ate, and the invitations and all kinds of stuff. So it was really cool. I thought it was pretty neat. I thought it was interesting that I assumed that these magazines and these outlets recognize these instructors as like celebrity, I guess, and that they assume that they're going to get like readership or readers because they're posting these things relative to their weddings. Because it seems like I see this often whenever there are these celebrity weddings. They show, but specifically to Peloton, these things show up in magazines, which is wild to me. But it was pretty cool. Her fiance has a pretty cool. I love his name, Matt Virtue. He sounds like he's like a man of mystery. That whole thing's that's pretty cool. But anyway, I don't know if you guys saw it. If you got any comments on it, did you guys like it? I saw the video. The video was pretty cool as well. So I thought I'd bring it up since we didn't have time to talk about it last week. Anybody see all that? No?
I saw it. I thought it was tastefully done. They get paid for that, and I think it's cool. I think they should get paid for that. They're giving them those exclusive photos.
Right.
So I think it's cool.
That's interesting. I didn't know that. But yeah, it makes sense that they would be paid for it, though. I mean, the magazine's getting like something out of it. So that's pretty neat. Cool. I'll jump past that one. Let's see. What do we have next on the list? We've got, all right, so earlier in the week, I have to find the article. I'm like looking for it now as we speak. But there was this finance firm that posted an article about Peloton's numbers that they're about to report for the quarter. And the article was basically saying that it didn't look like Peloton was going to meet their numbers. It looked like it was going to show that they were still somewhat struggling. And it associated that to the opening kind of dynamic, that people are just now at a point where, they ain't trying to work out at home no more. They're trying to get out of the house. Gyms are, open now. Masks are not all that required anymore. It's all changed. And so because of that, they saw it as they're just going to continue to struggle for the near future. And I think I'm trying to find the article now, but I think they assumed that would be the case until late fall sometime. And so, I get it. I guess, the opening dynamic makes sense. But I kind of thought that, people were like getting more acclimated to the idea of, I can work out at home now. And I also was wondering, like, how will that look if Uncle Barry comes in and he was supposed to do some things? Then they report earnings first, second week of May, and they ain't met no numbers. Like, so now, so I'm like questioning the outlook. But I don't know. I don't know what you guys think. I mean, I'm not going back to the gym. But that's what they were assuming, that it's going to not look so good when they report in May. And it's because people are moving away from.
Yeah, it's way too soon to make a call. I mean, it's been like 3 months.
Right.
Not even.
Yeah.
I agree that it probably won't look good on the company, but I don't think that will be a reflection on Barry at this point in time. Like Sheldon said, 3 months, that's not necessarily going to be on Barry. If it's the same thing in a year, sure, but not the first 3 months in.
That makes sense. Yeah. And I guess that's kind of my perception. I was thinking, doesn't Barry want to go into like homecoming and go into an earnings call with something that shows, he's making some type of difference? But I hear you, like, it's, 3 months is probably a short span, and maybe they can do that in some other way. Yeah, that adds up.
I think the big question will be, what do the revenue numbers look like? I mean, in terms of the cost structure is still effed for a while. It's going to take time to fix all the stuff they're trying to, reconfigure. But are they seeing sales? Are people buying these bikes or not? Also, don't forget, you're in spring now. People just had their holiday surge.
Right.
A lot of bikes got bought, and people are going to buy them. It's summer. Summer's coming. People want to, and the masks are up. People want to get outside. It's a lot of dynamics that are happening here.
Right.
And so, I don't know. I think yeah, they're probably not going to have a great quarter, but I think it shouldn't be I think it's been baked into the price of stock at this point, and we'll see come quarter 3, quarter 4, when wherever needs to meet the road.
Right.
Yeah, I think one real concern will be, let's assume they do announce the rower at homecoming. What do the sales numbers look like that for the next 3 months? So that next quarterly earnings report, depending on how numbers are from that, I think that would be more of a cause for concern at that point.
Right. So yeah, it'd be more like fiscal fourth quarter numbers is where, yeah, that makes sense. That's where we would hear the truth, what's really kind of occurring. And that makes sense. We're kind of getting into fall once they start reporting that. So that adds up. And I was wondering that too. That's a part of my post when I asked the question. It was like, what is the guide and rower going to do for this, if anything? Like, I was wondering if it was going to do anything, right? Like, we already saw that, was it Hydro? I can't remember the company that I reported on a couple weeks ago. And they had like a total of like 200,000 members. And I'm thinking, well, they've been around all this time and they're the leader and all they have is 200,000 members, which makes me go, well, then if Peloton drops a rower, they're probably going to become the leader really quickly, because that seems like a small number. But also, is it really going to make a dent really in revenue? Because the space sounds small to me now, right? So I'm wondering, like, the guide and the rower, like, how much is that going to do? Like, is it going to be other things that, Uncle Barry throws in that actually, shifts things?
I don't know that it's going to do a whole lot in terms of new people, but I think because so many of us are Peloton junkies, I think that we're going to jump on board because it's Peloton. We have to have it, especially for the guide, because we know that there's exclusive content that's only available on the guide.
Right.
So there's going to be classes you can't take anywhere else other than if you have the guide. So I think that's going to drive people who are current members to be like, well, crap, I need this because, like me, because I'm like, I can't have Jeff classes out there that I haven't done. That's just unacceptable. So I need the guide in my life. And if they do something similar with rower content, I think, it'll be the same. And granted, of course, I want a rower. But I think in the big market picture, I don't think that either one would have the significant bump. But I think in the Peloton community, because we're all psycho, that everybody's gonna be like, oh my God, Peloton dropped the rower, I need it. Peloton dropped the guide, I need it. So that's just my thoughts.
I think when they announce who the instructors are for the rower, and then I'll make my decision. Like I want to know who's gonna. Is it new instructors? Is it current instructors?
Well, we already saw Yanira's getting rid of her bed. If Marcel's,
that's right. Janelle said she gonna go down to a twin, right? Yeah.
And someone else mentioned, I can't remember who it was. Someone DM'd me and told me somebody else that taught rowing. Maybe it was Jocelyn.
Okay.
And John, maybe.
John
there was definitely two other people.
Okay. I'm waiting for two things. I'm waiting for who are the instructors, and are they on water? That's what I want to know. That'll drive my decision.
I think they said there's going to be a mix of class and water, if I remember seeing the article correctly on it.
Oh, okay.
I'm also curious if it's going to be a foldable rower, because space matters. Those things are freaking big.
No doubt.
50 inches long, yeah.
Right. Yeah, because I can't, I have the space to have it out, but I don't want to have it out. I want to be able to fold it up and save the space. So I'm with you.
I don't care how big. I don't care who's teaching. They can have Big Bird. I'm getting that rower. And I will do whatever I got to do.
You going to do what you got to do?
Absolutely.
I'm with Jeff on this one. Like, I need the rower in my life. I don't care. Well, there's maybe like one or two people. If they're the only people teaching, I'm going to pass. It's going to be a hard no. But for the most part, Jeff knows my one or two people that are a hard no. But for the most part, I need the rower in my life.
May 4th at 9 a.m. Is that what time I said, Danielle? I don't remember.
Yes, that is what time you said. And we're going to have a live Clubhouse.
And May 4th.
We should totally do that. John, if this don't drop, I'm personally flying to your house.
We all are, Justin.
May 4th.
It's going to be one big carpool just up I-95.
Listen, his daughter Jazz is my girl now. I love her. I adore her. I finally got to meet her in person, and we are going to swap out his sugar and his grits. And it's going to be on. I've got family connections now, John, so don't mess with me.
See,
you better drop on me.
see, in Southern California, that's what we did. We put the sugar in the grits. Then I'm going to marry Erica, and she from the South. She from Memphis. She going to try to tell me you only supposed to put salt in the grits. So then this has been an argument in our marriage for the last 34 years. You know what I mean?
Erica's in the chat now, though, saying that she'll let us all in just to have a piece of you.
Yeah, she will too. She would too. But all right, May 4th at 9. What time? 9 a.m. Danielle. That's when it's dropping.
At 9:01, I will be at your door.
What you saying in the chat, Courtney? You say salt only. You sound like Erica. So I ain't using no salt. I use sugar. I can't do the salt. But
Don, I'm in LA. We do not put sugar in grits.
See, I ain't got nobody on my side.
I'm by way of New Orleans, but yeah, no.
See, I ain't got nobody on my side. See, everybody with Erica on this one. Erica refused. She don't even put the sugar in the grits for me. She might help me out make the grits, but she'll give them to me and she'll have the sugar in a whole separate container. She like, you got to put that in. Like, she refused to put it in.
And I said you're lucky she even put them in a bowl for you, because I was like, you get up and get your own bowl of grits. Ruin the grits with sugar. You're lucky she put them in a bowl. That's crazy.
Yeah. I'm gonna be all right though. I'm gonna get my own sugar from now on. That's all right. I can't find nobody to eat sugar with grits. That's all right.
You lost all that weight. What do you need all that sugar for?
Yeah, she don't give me no sugar now anyway. You're right. I'm thin now.
Instant grits. That's all you deserve. You deserve those 5-minute microwavable grits. You don't even deserve the real grits. Like, Erica, stop making him real grits. Grits take 20 to 30 minutes. Don't make him the real stuff. Give him that 5-minute microwavable grits.
I get 5.
It's like crap and it's watery and runny.
I get 5-minute grits.
How many new instructors do you think they're going to bring in for rowing? Because I think rowing's a very different exercise. I mean, I have a rower for Echelon and I have a bike, and it's a very different kind of class. It's not as, dancy, and you don't have as much high five, and you can't high five when you're rowing, right? So
you're gonna need a few.
I'm questioning that too.
Taxing on the body, you can't have one rower instructor teach 5 days a week.
Well, remember when they, it looked like, well, I may have had this wrong, but it looked like with the boxing classes, it looked like they were just like cross-training people. Then someone went, no, Bex had a background in boxing. But I got the impression like they were just like, okay, do you want to do this discipline? Okay, well then we're going to cross-train you. Which got me thinking, is that a similar thing that they're going to do with rowing?
I think we've got at least 3 instructors who have a rowing background who have taught rowing in some capacity or another. So I think that's a good place to start. And then 2, like I said last week, it's been how many years since they started talking about this rower? At this point, everyone is like a certified rowing instructor. So, they could have gone through all kinds of training to teach at this point. So maybe they'll bring in like 1 new instructor, maybe 2. But I think they have a lot of in-house people that they could probably use already.
That makes sense.
John?
Yep. Hey, how's it going?
Hi, I don't talk very much, but I just wanted to let you know I only do sugar in my grits.
See, finally. Thank you. See.
We may be the only 2 people, but I do only do sugar in my grits. My mom is a salt person, and she only does salt, but I can't have it that way.
See, okay, it's 2 of us. Might only be 2 people in the States, but it's 2 of us. Okay.
And now you get a bonus Flash 15 workout. Let me text it to you right now.
Oh my gosh, no way. No way.
What's going on, Charlotte? How you doing?
Oh, I'm good. I just had that comment on the grits. That was.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, I thought
I did have one. I saw somewhere, maybe you guys already brought it up, about VR goggles for Peloton. Has that been discussed or rumored, or I saw that somewhere?
Well,
I heard the rumor, but
that's Chris Lewis. That he put out the April Fools about the VR.
Oh,
my bad.
Got me. That was a good one.
I was like, wait, what? And I was like, oh shit, it's April 1st.
I know. I was all excited. I'm
talked about it before, haven't they? Augmented reality for sure. I know Facebook has talked about it. Yeah.
Really done hiring in that industry, but not necessarily for that, or coming out for the studio and stuff.
I got all excited.
It's not going to be some big old Oculus in your head. The technology needs to modify, because you can't really do a hard workout sweating like that with those big goggles on. But augmented reality for sure will be a part of connected fitness. It has to be.
Yeah, I would assume so as well. I got to admit, I did get all excited when I saw your post, Chris. I was like, wait a minute, what? I was 2 seconds from resharing that when I read the end of your article and said April Fools. So you almost got me. You almost got me. That was a good one. Shaylon, how's it going? You out there? Nope.
Yes, I'm doing well.
Okay, I want to make sure I didn't miss you.
I'm really enjoying these weekly talks.
Oh,
it keeps me from sitting in front of the TV.
Oh, I hear you. I appreciate that. I'm so glad that you attended. That's awesome. Cool. Let's see. What else do we have on the agenda here? The next thing I had, was the boxing boot camps. Did we did anybody do any of them? I know they just dropped. I didn't do any of them, but I don't know if anybody did or had any thoughts on them.
I want to. I just got sidetracked this week with being sick, but I'm definitely going to check them out.
Yeah.
I'm going to try them too. Peloton's killing me because there's so many classes, so many instructors, so many modalities at this point. I'm like, clearly Peloton does not know my obsessive compulsive problem that requires me to try all of the things all of the time. And now they've added boxing boot camps. I'm like, when am I supposed to fit this in? But it's on my list, so maybe tomorrow.
It seemed like people were all excited. I saw some posts about Rad's classes, but it seemed like they were pretty good. I just didn't get to them. So yeah, I may have to try them as well. I know. I was also wondering, and I think I asked you about this, Sheldon, whether or not other connected fitness companies did something similar, like where you just you box and then.
They do. I mean, we've had them in Echelon for a while. They kind of did them for like a phases. Like they did a bunch of boxing boot camps, I don't know, maybe several months ago.
Yeah.
I didn't really do that. I don't really do much of that stuff. But yeah, it's a modality that some other folks have done for sure.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking, that it's probably more. I thought it was kind of a newer thing, but I'm as I kind of looking into it, it seems like they may not call it a boxing boot camp, but it seems like other platforms had something similar to that.
So I have Fight Camp, and I was actually surprised that they don't have a boxing boot camp yet.
Yeah.
I figured they would have one. So they always have Finish with Abs, which is something they added probably within like the last year, where you do your regular boxing class and they recommend like an ab class to follow it immediately. But they don't have like a boot camp class. And I was like, I'm kind of surprised that they don't.
Yeah, I am too. That seems like that would be right in line with what you're doing there. Well, actually, with Fight Camp though, I don't know that you could, right? Because you have gloves on though, right?
Yeah, but you can take them off.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Because you have wraps under your gloves, and the wraps will hold the sensors.
Oh, got it.
And the wraps, you have your fingers and everything else. So you can definitely pick up weights with the wraps and stuff like that. So it just seems like it would be something that they would move to if they haven't, since they don't have it already. That'd be probably a good opportunity for them. But
Violet says that Mirror calls it boxing plus strength. And I think I saw like Apple Fitness Plus had something too, and they called it something. I don't remember what they called it. So yeah, it's I thought it was a unique thing. I guess it's not. It's more common than not. That's cool. And then I also noticed that we talked a little bit about this a second ago, just pure boxing and, the shadow boxing. And now they've got Bex Gentry and Jermaine Johnson doing that, which was interesting to me. Well, what was really interesting to me, and I can't remember the instructor's name. I think he was a UK instructor who had like a whole background in boxing. And his followers asked him under one of his posts, how come you're not doing it? And he made a comment of, well, they didn't ask me. And it was almost like a salty response. Oh yeah, that's right. Bradley Road. As if like, go ahead. I'm sorry.
I'm still not convinced there's not a non-compete there from his days at Rumble. I'm not sure how long that might be, but there's a chance that could be in play.
That makes sense. Maybe he just can't do it and for a certain amount of time. That makes sense.
Why didn't he? I don't understand why he would complain if he knows that he has a non-compete.
Yeah, that's a good point. I don't know.
Yeah, I hear you. If it is one in place, I wouldn't get that. It felt a little, when I read it, it felt a little like he felt a little slighted. Maybe I'm reading into it, but that's what it felt like. What it felt like.
Wasn't Kendall with Rumble at one time?
I didn't know that.
I think she was. Yeah.
She was, but it was longer ago than Bradley joined. She joined like a year before Bradley did.
Okay.
Right, but I guess I wouldn't know. I mean, as far as the timeline would go, is for when you're talking about the non-compete. So, I mean, it could be that maybe she wasn't within one, but I mean, as far as looking at Peloton and the way it was growing and looking at Rumble, I mean, who's to say? But I just figured, I thought if she had one, she might be under something similar to him. But I guess if she's out of it, then it makes sense.
Yeah, it seemed like his followers clearly wanted him to be doing that. So, and maybe this is just, Peloton being kind of strategic with when they drop those instructors that are anticipated, and highly anticipated. Maybe they're just being, strategic with it, and maybe he will be doing it soon. But I found that interesting. Did anyone do any of the Bex Gentry or Jermaine Johnson shadow boxing classes?
Nope.
I didn't either. I got such a regimented system of exactly what I tend to do. So I gotta pull out of that and try some of these new things, but I don't tend to do that.
Some of them
them are only like 10 minutes. And I think there was a boot camp that may have only been 20 minutes. So I don't know. Danielle, let me know if you wanted. Maybe we'll do one together tomorrow. We'll do one on demand. And anyone who wants to join us.
Yeah, let us know when you guys are going to do it.
I can't picture Bex as a boxing.
That's where I was. I've
heard that she taught it before somewhere else, and someone said that even one of her own comments was that she was a better runner than a boxer. So, so I mean, I don't know. Let her do something that's more aligned with who she is. Like, maybe we need to update the marathon program or come out with a half marathon program or, like, you know, like along those lines, instead of throwing her into boxing when we have actual people who actually taught boxing on a regular basis, like Olivia. You know what I mean? Like, why put Bex in there? Let her do something else. Like, I know she's a Nike run coach, so why not let her do like a guided running program or something like that? Like, I don't know. It just seems like they could have utilized her somewhere else other than boxing. We have other people who have boxing experience.
Nicole said
more boxing experience.
Yeah, Nicole said she used to teach boxing, and I know I read in the chat, and I know I read that she had a boxing background. So and so that was interesting to me. Like, I kind of learned that after the fact, but kind of leading into it, she's such a strong, incredible runner that my mind just doesn't align to boxing. Like, she's like elite from a running perspective, right? So my mind just can't shift from elite runner that she's gonna do boxing now, like. And so I was the same way.
She was a boxer first, though, if I remember her telling her story, and then she got into running.
Gotcha.
But I could have that completely backwards, so maybe just ignore that.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not sure. I didn't hear the story. I saw bits and pieces of what other people were saying. It was just that she used to teach boxing somewhere, and that she said she was a better boxer than a runner, and I guess that's how she broke her nose or something. So, but I'm not saying that she can't box. I haven't taken her class, so I don't honestly know. But I'm just saying, from perception, it would just be like, let her do something that is definitely aligned. And she's a great run coach. Let her be a run coach where we need it, because we definitely need to update the marathon training program, and we don't have a half marathon training program. So, like, utilize her there and let's get that stuff going.
I'll put you on a half marathon training program. When you want to start? Tomorrow?
Oh, Lord.
Well, I've already run 6 or 7 half marathons, so I don't need a half marathon training program. Thank you very much, even though you're trying to harass me and bully me. But
You told me you wanted to do a half marathon this year. This is me being a friend encouraging you to do a half marathon.
I do need to do one this year, because it's been a few years since I've done one, and I've got you in my ear about a half marathon. Just Minority in my ear about the New York City Marathon in 2023. I don't know who the hell she thinks I am. Yep, but we're doing it.
See, I'm gonna take Bex's boxing class so I can figure this out. I'm gonna take it the same way I take Jess Sims Saturday 60, which means I'm gonna watch it.
Which means you're gonna watch it.
Right. I'm gonna watch it. That's what I'm gonna do. And then I have some information for you guys next week. All right, let me do a quick room reset, and then we'll get into the last few items. This is your weekly wellness check. We do this every Saturday at 7 p.m. It's meant to be just conversation, a forum conversation to talk about connected fitness, to talk about Peloton, to talk about what's going on in our workout regimens. It's meant to be light conversation. If you want to join the conversation, just kind of hit the hand in the lower right of your screen, and we'll bring you on stage. We welcome that. If you don't want to do that, don't trip. Don't stress. Just hang out in the audience and just listen, or go into chat and chat away in there. And just do what is comfortable for you. Don't do anything that makes you stress. All right. So the next item was the Robin Kirsten 2-for-1 run. I said
my whole life.
What's that?
It made my whole life.
Yeah.
Oh, it was that good.
It was that good.
It was that good.
Dang.
I challenge anyone to tell me I'm wrong.
Dang.
See, I'm with Tammy on this one. If anyone says it was terrible, fight me.
It was all that.
terrible. They're miserable people. It was incredible.
It was incredible. Okay, I was saying all week, I was even out on social media. Oh, it's going down. It's going down. And then it happened. I was just sitting down on the couch. I didn't do it. That's horrible. So now I'm going to have to do it. See, I'm going to have to go do it.
It was so good. And the way that they lifted each other up and the way that they like cheered each other on. And you know, like, it's amazing because I have that with my small community of women that I love and adore, that I've connected with through Peloton. But to see two instructors up there doing it for each other, two women instructors, two beautiful brown women up there encouraging each other, it was incredible. I absolutely loved it. And at the end, when Kirsten was, speaking, and it just made you like emotional, and it was incredible. If you haven't taken it, you absolutely have to take it.
Oh man, now I definitely got to take it now.
I think it was also very different from how some of the other 2-for-1 runs have gone, in the fact that, like, one would actually kind of be like doing the push or doing the sprint, where the other one was there like hyping them up. Like, I don't remember other 2-in-1 runs kind of being coached like that.
Yeah.
It was, it was the perfect depiction of being able to root someone else on while you still shine. Like, it was just so perfect. John, just hang up the call right now and just go take it.
See, now you got me like, and then, because I just said I'm going to take it, and Erica out here on the chat, now I'm really going to have to take it. Okay, I'm going to check that out tomorrow.
It was just the chemistry.
Yeah.
A lot of them have it, but if you take it and you see just the way that they interacted, just the innateness of it all just came together naturally. I'm sure they probably rehearsed, but it didn't look rehearsed. It just felt like two friends kikiing on the tread, and we got to be there to witness it and participate. And I loved it.
I always struggle with, like, I know they say that they kind of talk through and script through, and they do a lot of research when they're doing like these types of classes, and they figure out what they're going to do, what they're going to say. They may even go through a trial, and so they can kind of get things done. I know they say that. My mind, for me, I guess this is a personal thing. Whenever I start trying to script anything, it feels very rigid. Like, for me, it's gotta be organic for it to feel organic. So, it makes you wonder, like, when they do these classes, do they kind of move off script, and they just, especially in these scenarios where it feels really, organic?
Well, this one definitely did, because Robin broke protocol at the end. So
okay.
You can get to the end and you'll see that was totally unscripted. So.
Oh, that's cool. That sounds good.
I think they have a loose script, and then I think they kind of fill it in as they're comfortable. So I think they have like an outline.
Yeah.
Of like this, that, and the other, and then what happens in between is natural and organic. At least with them, that's how I felt.
That makes sense.
We almost ran over. We
actually
in that last sprint we did.
She was supposed to be in the cool down, and we were going into another sprint.
It's like, we got another one, and it's like, oh wait, just like counting down, and we had like 4 seconds left, and she's like, oh wait, no, we're supposed to be done.
Man.
But it was so in the moment, and it just like, we could have kept going. That class could have absolutely been longer.
Yep.
And I don't think anyone would have complained about it.
No. Absolutely. I really want them to do like a 60-minute run. I know Kirsten will never do that for me, but I would like her.
How long was it?
Yeah, Kirsten said no way.
It was only 30 minutes.
Oh, okay.
I already tortured Kirsten in a 60-minute run, and she was like, I'm never doing that with you.
Never.
She said, not in this lifetime or the next.
Okay, well, I'm going to have to...
That with Marcel, actually.
But I mean, and then the funny thing is, Robin's never done a 60, so she probably wouldn't have a hard time convincing Robin that that's not the avenue for them to go yet.
No, at least the 45. We need more.
Yeah.
Agreed.
I think I need them to set up like a series. They could do a little series and give me a badge with the two of them, and I would be good with that. They can even put mommy topics in there, whatever they want to talk about. Let's just get it going.
I would die.
That would be awesome. A Ratchet Mom badge. I need.
Oh my God. I would. Every single one.
So, John, I'm really sorry. We're going off script right here, but can we just talk about the jock jams and why there was no badge for that? Because I thought there should have been.
Well, the jock jams is the very next topic, and so I think that is a perfect segue. I didn't do that either, so I'm interested in. Yeah, there was no badge for that.
John, what have you done this week?
You know me. I do.
Nothing. You watch everything.
John has done nothing except eat grits with sugar in it. Clearly worked out though.
Did you even do club bangers? Like, what did you do?
You know I do.
I did see John on a Alex pop ride this week. He did jump on with me.
If Alex is doing a ride, you know I was on that. So look on the schedule. I was on all of those.
You rode with me this week.
That's right.
On Alex, you're right.
That's right.
Got it.
I was on that. Like, and then I did
Eating grits with sugar.
That's right. In between that, then I did a run, but I don't remember who it was with. Oh, it was for Tammy's.
Yeah, but I did do it.
But I didn't.
700th run.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
Oh, congrats, Tammy.
You were on with me too. You were high fiving me. Marcel's hip hop run.
Oh, yo, that was lit.
Yeah, it was nice. Yeah, I like that too.
It was good.
So I did a little bit.
Hey, I didn't want to go too far past the Kirsten and Robin thing, because I think there's absolutely something else going on there when it comes to how they support each other. I remember Alex and Tunde's ride, and they talked about, and Tunde was talking about how she didn't get the viewership on her rides or something, and Alex did everything he could to help her.
Right.
And I don't know if it's the same way with Kirsten, but I feel like a lot of these instructors are like mentors to these folks, these new people that come on board.
Definitely.
And I feel like Robin is trying to, or realistically, do what she can to bring her people up. And that might be something that she's trying to do with Kirsten. Even though Lisa loves Kirsten, she does a great job in her runs.
I think, based on what I just heard from you all about that run, I'm starting to think that this is going to be like this is going to be serial. This is going to be a series. Because I think that's kind of what happened with, the Tunde and Alex thing. They did it. It kind of blew up. It was real. Everybody loved it. Then they did one in studio and everybody showed up and went crazy. All of us were in the studio going nuts. Like it was, it had a lot of energy to it and it had a lot of popularity. And it's sounding to me like this had a similar thing. So it may ended up being a series. That would be good.
This 2-for-1 and also Jess and Adrian 2-for-1 was great, but this to me was even bigger of an impact. I don't know why. Maybe because it was like two moms and like a seasoned mom and a new mom. I don't know. It was just magical.
Yeah, but I think the what was just said though, actually when he just said it, it actually resonated because the impact and the emotion that I got from them was a different one, but it was parallel to the one I got with taking classes with Alex and Tunde. There was just that spark there that you notice every time they show up, the numbers go up, people show up for them, and it's going to be the same on the tread for Kirsten and Robin.
Yeah, I think you're right. Based on what you guys are saying, I'm going to take it so I can check it out. Erica said I can't take it tomorrow morning because she's taking it, so I just got outvoted. But I'll take it sometime tomorrow. So that sounds
But
cool.
Kirsten is also like us, you guys. It wasn't that long ago that, she had a Peloton. She was a Peloton member.
Right.
It's a dream come true to become an instructor.
Right.
So a lot of people, kind of see a little bit of themselves in her when they see her there. She told part of the story about the meeting because, she met Robin before that, but just to see how she wasn't an instructor, but her energy, Robin was drawing her energy just like she was drawn to Robin's. She was drawn to Robin as a Peloton instructor, but Robin, kind of gravitated to her as a person. So to kind of see it all come full circle there on the tread was another one of those elements that just made it that much more special. For those that kind of follow Kirsten and know a little about her, you could see some of that and kind of feel that. And that was definitely brought into the class and it was nice.
That's pretty cool. Yeah, that sounds like a really good class. I'm definitely going to have to check that out. I want to jump into the Jess's Jock Jams class, though, just to make sure that we close that out as well. I didn't take any of those as well, but I know that Jess is like heavy into various Jock Jams, and so it seemed like it aligned. I wasn't clear if that was more of a Peloton aligned event, or was that just like a Jess-inspired theme for just a class, right?
I think it was just inspired.
Yeah.
She loves herself some jock jams.
Yeah, like Jeff and Disney World so Vacation. DJ John Michael, that they have been working behind the scenes for years to kind of get with Tommy Boy Records or somebody to be able to get that music.
Oh, okay.
So I do know, like, it made sense for it to be her just because of it being Doc Jams, but there was a lot that went into getting that music. But I just still feel that she has put out so much great content, especially themed content, that she deserved a badge. Saturday 60 doesn't have one, but Jock Jams deserved a badge for sure.
Absolutely agree.
Did
a special badge? We took all three.
So did we get a badge for the Robin and Kirsten?
For that T Swift series, we sure should have got. That's what I'm saying. You should get one for that. He took all three Jock Jams. Yes, there was a badge that went out. It was double. It was a Taylor Swift badge and an artist series.
Good night.
I'm just asking.
So maybe they'll give you a badge after the fact, because the Taylor Swift badge for like taking all the classes didn't come until after all the classes dropped. So maybe after the last Jock Jams class dropped, maybe they'll do a challenge then.
No, they set it up. The Taylor Swift one was set up like a challenge. You know how we got those flash challenges where it said if you take any 3 of the classes, then you get a badge. So they had that badge, and then they also included it as an artist series.
Right. I knew there was an art. I just thought that the challenge badge didn't come until after all the classes had already aired. That it was kind of like after the fact.
But you knew it was a challenge. Like, you knew it was something you could go for, though. Like, it was advertised.
Right. Well, I mean, no shade, but they just had one that they put out with there was a class that went out with Eric that had to do with somebody in particular in German. I knew I took the stretch, and it had a badge with it. I didn't realize that, but I just felt that Jock Jams deserved a badge. Jess deserves a badge because she does come through with a lot of series that are great.
Yeah.
Jess absolutely deserves a badge.
She does.
I mean,
Jess deserves the world. How about that? Because she's absolutely incredible.
She is incredible.
Yeah.
I took the Flash 15 on Friday. I took that live. It was really good. It wasn't too crazy. And then this morning, I had lacrosse. So I missed Saturday 60 live. And then I was like, I came home and I decided to take it. And I was like, maybe I need some pre-workout. And Jess Minardi was like, hell yeah, you do. And then I pretty much died. So I was like, I should have just let lacrosse save me, because it kept me from taking Saturday 60 live, only to come home and take it in the afternoon by myself and then die. She lost her ever-loving mind. She was so freaking happy. There was listening games galore. I called her by her full government name on Instagram and cursed her out. Like,
you know,
by the end of class, her cheeks were like so rosy red. She was so happy. It was insane.
You guys know how Jess do. She be trying to kill people. That's Jess. That's what she do.
It was crazy. And then there's one part where she's like up, down. I'm like, girl, just call it a burpee. It's a burpee at this point. It is a freaking burpee. And if you take the class and you get to the end, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. She has us doing this drill. But I'm like, this is literally a burpee. You have me doing burpees back to back, probably like 10 of them.
She impresses me so much. You know, she's one of my favorites. I can't do much of the stuff she does anymore, but I used to be able to do it, but I can't do as much of it as I used to be able to. But she's just one of my favorite people in general. Jess, she was so kind to me when she first came to this community, and her class, and she's just incredible in what she's doing. I mean, I don't know how she gets all that energy. I don't know where that's coming from.
The glazed donuts, apparently, but
I guess
maybe we all need glazed donuts. But I mean, we all know that I love and adore her, and she is an incredible athlete and an incredible person. So I just keep showing up for her to kill me every time, and every time I'm like, I don't know how much I have left to give, and she manages to get me to give a little bit more.
That's Jess.
I gotta say about Jess Sims, I cannot handle Ludacris Roll Out anymore. I used to love that song. And the time I took her class and she started doing that listening game with Roll Out. Boy,
do you know the song she's ruined for me? This lady is just a menace.
Oh, that's funny. You can't work with that song no more, Kari?
Oh, man. Every time I hear it, it's like Roll Out.
Every song is a listening game.
Oh, man. She used to kill me with them listening games on the tread. Oh, my goodness. Yeah, I remember.
Hey, buddy, since we are talking about our Just Love, she, if you haven't taken her walk run that she did last week, the 45-minute, when she talks about the vacation her and Kirsten had together in the Bahamas. She has some funny stories.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, about how Kirsten doesn't prioritize dessert for one, which was hilarious. She was mad.
They seem like, I agree with her. They seem like they're really tight.
I was with Kirsten on that one. It's drinks before dessert.
What'd you say, Danielle?
It's drinks before dessert.
Oh, drinks before dessert.
Kirsten's side of the story was that she would rather drink her calories than eat them, and just wanted to eat her calories rather than drink them. I'm like, I'm sorry, I'm with Kirsten on this one.
Oh, yeah. I'm not a drinker. I eat my calories always. Always eat my calories.
I like to drink my calories, but I need dessert. Absolutely not.
Right? Exactly. You're going to work that hard.
Give me some cake. Give me a cookie. I need dessert.
A glazed donut.
That's a relationship that seems like it's kind of blossomed, right? It feels like Kirsten and Jess have become really close. It's what it feels like in looking at social media.
It's very close. It's so nice.
Ruby and Rona.
Yeah, they really starting to get close, which is interesting. Always fun to see, you know. I always got to remember that they're at work. Like, we're having fun, but they're at work. So, you know, how many coworkers do you get all that close with? So then to see relationships kind of blossom out at work, it's kind of interesting. That's good. That's positive.
That's another 2-for-1 that would be good. I hope that's on the Peloton roster sometime soon.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I would love to see that. All right, let me move on to this next one. So I know they said, did it already drop? I don't think it dropped yet. The Glass Animals, Jasmine Sullivan, Lil Nas X classes. I think it's tomorrow, right?
They dropped.
They dropped already.
They dropped already? Oh, okay. And so I assumed that was just kind of precursor to this weekend's Grammy Awards. I think, right? That was my assumption as a celebration of that. Anybody take any of them, and were they any good? I don't know anything about Glass Animals. People were telling me about Jasmine Sullivan. You know, I don't know. I know Lil Nas X, so I didn't know much about any of the others. But how if anybody took them, what did you think?
I taught the Jasmine Sullivan ride. I took it when it dropped on Friday, and it was really good.
Okay.
It made me want to smash somebody's, car windows. Based on her music, it was good. And I mean, I love Hannah and her energy anyway, but it was good. And John, that she played most of the songs.
See, okay.
So you could, sing and yell and whatever, to the song. So I enjoyed it. So if you haven't, it's a 15-minute class, so it's nice to take if you're short on time, or even nice to kind of stack.
Oh, okay, that's good. Yeah, that's a pet peeve of mine. I cannot stand when they just play like the first minute or two of the song and they just keep jumping. I'm waiting for my part. Okay, that's good. They played the whole song. Well, that's cool. I'll have to check that out. And I'm
gonna take the run because Lil Nas X is the only one I know. Everyone keeps telling me I know who Jasmine is, but
that's what they told me.
I don't know. I guess I need to figure it out. But I'm like, I don't know that name.
They told me I knew too.
Danielle, you know Jasmine Sullivan.
You're literally like the 5th person that told me that I know who she is. I don't know who that is. Sing me a song, Jess.
You said the same thing about Donna Summer.
I did not say that I didn't know Donna. I know who Donna Summer is. I don't want to work out the Donna Summer.
We had this discussion before, and then when they sang the song, you were like, oh yeah, I know them. You know her. Trust me.
We had this conversation about ABBA. For sure, because I was like, I don't know them. I'm not working out with them. And then I knew one song.
Oh, wait a minute. Courtney threw some lyrics in there. Oh, yeah, I know her. Okay, see, now I know her. See, Courtney helped me out.
You know her, Danielle. Trust us.
Oh, you helped me out, Courtney. Yeah, now I know who she is now.
Oh
okay.
My God, she's from South Philly, and I don't know who she is. Now I feel horrible. I'm looking in the chat, and my other Philly girl just told me she's from Philly. And she's from South Philly. Like, not even just from Philly, but she is from, like, my hood. Now I have to figure out who it is. Okay, yeah, we're going to have to take it now. See, now I know the song. So now, I thought I didn't know, and I knew. So, okay, I'll check that out, too. That'll work. They had other classes this week. On the Transgender Day of Visibility, they had classes. I can't remember what classes they had on that day, but I know they had like 3 classes.
I remember Maddie Majocolo had a walk.
Maddie,
there was some others, but I just remember that one.
Jocelyn had a walk plus run. Jess King had a ride.
Yeah.
And I think that was it.
Ross was supposed to have 2 meditations, but those got bumped that morning.
Oh, that's right. I remember that. They got bumped because something was happening in front of the studio or something. Yeah, I remember that. Anybody take any of those?
The literal dumpster fire.
Yeah, literal fire was going on. Yeah, I saw that. Anybody take any of the classes? I love Jocelyn, by the way. I need to take more of her classes.
That's my girl.
Yeah, she's fantastic. I plan to take those classes. I haven't yet.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, I'll have to check those out too. Definitely the Jocelyn class. I wanted to ask you guys, I know we're running short on time, so forgive me as I start to jump through these last remaining items. The new Fitness Flipped episode this week. This week they had like a social psychologist, I guess was her title. I don't remember her name, but she talked about something that I, without any expertise, had been employing for like the last 30 years. And that is, I work to try to find something that is fun in every workout that I do. And if I can't figure that out, I don't do it. And if to make it fun, I've got to scale it down, then I do that, because I would rather have it be fun and I will consistently do it than have it to be so torturous that I can't stay consistent. And so this social psychologist like talked about this process of finding the fun in these things in order to stay consistent, which, now I have like, a professional kind of aligning to something I was just kind of guessing at for all these years. But I found that this episode, I got something out of that, kind of listening to that thought process. And I don't know if you guys kind of do the similar thing. Maybe you just kind of have fun with the torture. But I was wondering what you guys thought about that. If you listened to the Fitness Flip episode. Nobody catch it? All right. That I just found that kind of interesting. It was if you haven't, check that out and let me know what your thoughts are on that. It's a way of thinking about the workout. When I was younger, and you're playing sports and you're working out, and I had coaches, and they were very deliberate about it's not supposed to be fun. It's supposed to be pain. You're supposed to you're supposed to be grinding this out. And then I got older, and you're kind of just working out for fun. And I still had those guys around me when I went to the gym. Like, it's supposed to be pain. Like, what are you doing? It ain't supposed to be fun. And then I got much older, and then I just transitioned to now. I'm gonna figure out how to make it fun. For me, that's the only thing that works, right? If it's not, I'm gonna stop, right? Eventually.
I did catch that episode, and I actually agree. And I think that's why we all are within Peloton, right? Because it is fun to us, and that's why the dedicated members keep coming back, because we find the fun in it, and that's why the retention is so high, at least to me, within the Peloton community. So I absolutely agreed, and it resonated with me, because although we do really hard workouts, we find some aspect of fun in them. And we keep coming back to Jess because she's crazy and she's fun. Same thing with Tunde and Kirsten's not easy. She keeps calling herself a beginner runner, and I'm like, girl, you need to stop, because you stay killing me.
Oh, no doubt. Oh, no doubt. Yeah. Oh, no doubt. She's good at what she does. Yeah, I agree with that. Another thing, I used to work out you're right. Peloton gives you another level of like push. It kind of gets you kind of probably doing a little more than you may have done. I think the leaderboard aspect of it has something to do with it. The social aspects of the people that you know on the board, whether you're competing with them or you just know they're there and they see you. I know there's that aspect. And also, I know that when we went in, you never wanted to be the person in class that's sitting down while everybody's up out of the saddle. You didn't want to be the person on the tread that's walking while everybody's running. So I know in studio it was it added to your level of how much you put into the workout. But we didn't care. We were having so much fun being there. You just put in more work. I'm waiting for that to come back because that dynamic kind of added to it and kept the fun in it. All right.
This week I enjoyed Cody and Tunde's interaction. I thought them both talking about kind of habits and how they make it fun, and again, just how, Cody helped her and just kind of their interaction and really how they support and hype each other up. I'm enjoying the podcast. I just wish still a little bit less production with all the sound effects and stuff, but the content I'm really, really loving.
Yeah, the content seems to be getting a little bit better. I enjoyed that too. I know they had the member story. I can't remember the guy's name now. Michael Smith, I think. I don't know if I got his name right. And he was like an English teacher. And he had 2 young boys. And I know he talked about, what motivates him to work out. And I found that interesting as well. So, yeah, I mean, they're getting a little bit better. They're getting a little bit better at it. And maybe I'm just kind of getting used to the format. Could be that too. But I agree with you. I know that they produce it heavily. And I'm with you. I kind of like the more spontaneous, organic kind of discussion. And that's not really what they do. But yeah, they're definitely getting a little bit better. I like the conversation with Cody as well. I like Cody, so that was cool. I enjoyed that. Cool. I don't know if you guys. This might be not be. I don't know if you guys know a whole lot about this and how much you guys want to discuss this, but I'll bring it up anyway. I know there was a lot of stuff about iFit in the news, and I don't know how many of us here are iFit users, but it was a lot last week about, they went through a similar kind of struggle with their business as did Peloton, right? Like as the pandemic, it started to wind down and kind of mid to the fall of last year, and people just stopped buying equipment as much. And, that happened with Peloton. And by the end of the year, John Foley stepping down, and a similar thing happened with iFit. Their CEO stepped down, but it looked like he just stepped down, but it turns out he didn't step down. It turns out he was kind of pushed out, right? It was like, they were being sued by one of their investors who was asking for their money back, and they didn't really have the money to pay them back. And another investment firm gave them the money, but then said, if we do that, then you gotta leave. And it's turned into a soap opera. It turned out that he had like a lot of his sons were C-suite members, and they were heavily into the Mormon church, and they're based in Utah, and so that was a big part of it. And this finance firm like moved all those people off the board. So it's like all this stuff going on with iFit. The interesting part of it was they got into this trouble because they were hard trying to compete with Peloton. So last year, like Peloton was the darling, and they were trying to figure like, how do we compete with this? And so they invested in bringing in celebrities like Michael Phelps and a bunch of stuff, and they got into like debt trying to stay in line with Peloton, which is fascinating to me because iFit's been around since the 70s, and Peloton's been around since 2012. Like it shows like how quickly Peloton just came in and just like took over a space. Now you have these long-standing companies just like, fighting to stay in line with what Peloton has created. But I don't know what's going to happen with iFit. I'm not sure. It's, maybe they go bankrupt. Maybe they stay around. Maybe they're able to figure out a way to stay, aligned with Peloton. But I just found the whole thing fascinating. I'm assuming that, if Peloton's about to report, less than stellar numbers, I'm assuming they're in the same place, and we know they're struggling here. They're probably going to continue to struggle as well. They have similar content. It seems like they have similar content. I know they got a lot of the outdoor stuff. People tend to like all their outdoor rides and outdoor runs, and their equipment that can adjust for you, and all that stuff. But I don't really ride any of their equipment. I don't know a whole lot about it. I don't know if you guys do. If you like iFit stuff, Nordic track based stuff, if it's your jam or not. But if you have any comments on that.
The trainer, the incline trainer, I don't have a Peloton treadmill. But during the pandemic, it was I compared the large Peloton, and they weren't delivering their tread anyway.
Yeah.
But I did like the 50-50. I did the, comparison with the two. So I have the one that is, it's controlled by them for the outdoor content and the studio workouts too. And it's really, I like it.
Yeah.
I actually complained to them though when I renewed my membership. I said, you need to look at Peloton.
Yeah.
Because it was so hard to find things that on my tread versus it was easier to check myself into classes and it's so easy to stack classes and all that on Peloton. It's just their front end is really bad. To me it's archaic. I don't understand. I said, go get some people from Peloton. I was like, I just don't know if I can continue the membership because it was just so difficult to find things. But yeah, I mean, my tread goes up to 40% and declines to 6%.
Wow.
So a lot of the workouts they have a lot of their trainers they're very, if I compare them side by side, they don't have the personalities per se. In some cases, there's really no music to mention. I guess in their studio classes they have it. But the other thing I told them that bothered me, I get migraines, and they have these flashing lights. It reminded me very 70s.
Yeah.
And I said, that can be triggering, to people who have seizures, or certain conditions. I said, you might want to consider that in your studio classes. But they're trained. They have top notch. They had a guy on there. I took. They have series, and they send you a badge. You know how we get the virtual badges?
Yeah.
They send you an actual badge.
Well, they canceled that though, right? They shut that down now, right? I think last week.
No, you can still get them.
Really?
You can still get them.
Oh, okay.
You have to do a certain number of workouts now. They made it more workout focused. They kind of changed the front end a little bit if you go on the tread. But they're very. They have a guy who trains the Minnesota Vikings.
Oh, okay.
And they had, I never ran, but he would have we would do indoor and outdoor workouts. We'd be in the Arctic, and then we'd go in the studio. You would run backwards.
Woo.
They have people actually running backwards. Or you would get on your hands and knees. Hannah Eaton, she would have us do bear crawls on the treadmill while I was moving.
Oh, my goodness.
Extremely challenging. I mean, extremely. I was probably the best shape because I was kind of focusing on those, like their series. But when the series would end, it would be like, okay, so what do I do next? And then I started to then I mixed in the Peloton boot camps to kind of compensate. But no, they were tough. I mean, I would be dripping.
I thought that it was interesting when they started putting out equipment that had like these automated features that like the instructor controlled it or whatever, like the class controlled it. And so now you're on a bike and you're going at a decline or incline.
Right.
Like I always wondered, like, is that going to be a selling point or is it going to be kind of gimmicky and people are going to be like, I don't want my bike automatically inclining or declining.
Yeah, I don't know about the bike, but yeah, on the tread, when you're doing like the hikes, depending on where it is, like I'm doing a series in Chile, and they added this feature where you wear your heart rate monitor, and depending on where your heart rate is, it'll raise the speed.
Oh my goodness!
The incline is set what it is, whatever elevation you're supposed to be at. But they'll raise the speed to either get your heart rate up or they'll decrease the speed to get it down depending on where you are.
Ooh, I'll be in there like I'm trying.
You were training for the apocalypse. No, man.
I'll be in there like I'm trying to beat I'm trying to beat a lie detector, like trying to get my heart rate down. No,
right?
I can't.
I said, I don't know if that works because even like I was on beta blockers and it would lower my heart rate at one point, and to the point where I'll be working real hard, but it wouldn't show up in my heart rate. So I don't think that's actually a good idea. So you can turn it off. But
Well, they have things like that, and it's interesting you talk about that because I think we all know like the content is like king, and I know they kind of built stuff into hardware. There are I guess innovative, creative things with the hardware, and that outdoor content. Everyone raves about that. I always hear people talking about the outdoor content, but I'd never heard about how the interface was, how the interface worked, how easy. That seems like that would be wow. That you got so much positive with the content itself, but now your interface makes it tough. Like, ouch.
I think a lot of companies have that problem, John. I think Peloton's done a very good job of making their interface very, very user friendly.
Yeah.
And I think again, part of what makes the retention high.
Yeah.
It's their software engineers are very good, and but you're absolutely right. I mean, iFit is known for their outdoor content. That's what they hang their hat on. Similar to Hydro. Hydro's like basically all on the water.
Right.
That's how they do their rowing. Yeah, I definitely see the thing with iFit in general. Just like that's a soap opera to watch.
Woo, that's crazy, right?
I mean, yeah, you think Peloton was nuts? They are like, it's crazy to watch that, and it's like, whoa, it's totally right. Whole family have $30 million loans out.
It's nuts.
Being forgiven. It's really nuts.
Did you hear they were assuming that they would like pay back or make back money lost based on IPO, and then of course the market went down, and so then they couldn't IPO. I was like, what? Like, yeah, that whole thing is wild with iFit, and now El Catterton coming in, and they're like, it's like they control the place now. But it sounded like. That's pretty wild. Man, we'll see if they kind of survive all that. Hi, Jamala. How are you?
Hi, I'm good. How are you guys doing?
Good.
Good. So I just wanted to talk about the iFit thing because I have Peloton equipment, and I've been with Peloton for about 3 years, a little over 3 years.
Yep.
But I mean, to be honest, I was like, when you've been doing the studio classes for so long, I kind of wanted to spice some stuff up. And as a runner, I saw that iFit had all the majors on there, like they'd actually filmed like Boston, Chicago, New York, London. And they had a, what was called 26.2 Club, where if you did the marathons, I think it was between the beginning of the year and March 31st, then you got this special medal and everything. And so I joined iFit in December so I could do that because, I'm a runner, but I don't know that I would ever like truly be able to qualify for any of those races in real life. So, it appealed to me to be able to do the races because they were broken down into like 6 to 8 runs per race, and you do it over time. I mean, it was still very challenging to me to do the races because it was like 29 sections or something like that, and I did them all on my Peloton tread. But I thought that was really neat. That was something, a real life thing that you could replicate. And I do like also as a runner the idea of the Google Maps thing that iFit has, where you could, create a Google map, and then your treadmill would automatically respond to the elevation of your map. So, like,
wow,
pre-map a race that you're going to do.
I did not know it did that. That's pretty neat. Wow.
Right. Like, I heavily researched getting like a Nordic track or a Peloton tread, because I had an old ProForm treadmill, and it was like, 15 years old, and I was like, I got to do something. But in the end, my love for, like we're talking about the Peloton community and everything, won over, like, I'm just going to get the tread because that's where my heart is at.
Right.
And I thought, well, and I figured out the tech so I could like replicate iFit stuff on the Peloton treadmill if I wanted to, using an iPad and doing that. But it wasn't so easy to be able to do the Peloton classes on a Nordic track. I mean, you could, but it wasn't as good an experience. And so, but I think you're also right. The badges and the medals for iFit went away. You know, that was like a seriously big brouhaha on the iFit Facebook page. And like when we were talking about community earlier with the iFit too, I mean, they don't have like all the subgroups, you know, what we used to call tribes and stuff. As far as that, you know, there's a couple like iFit for women and iFit like cocktails club or something like that, but there's not like John Peel, like their main, you know, one of their main instructors. There's no John Peel club or anything like that. So, you know, it is definitely a different vibe over there.
That's interesting to me because, you know, yeah, we talked about that earlier, and it's clear that, you know, all of these different connected fitness companies have that dynamic where you get like this, you know, kind of a magical community kind of affiliation, and you meet people, and you know, it helps you build relationships. But it's clear also that I'm supposed to have done this already, so that's reminding me I'm behind. But every quarter, I post numbers from the social media accounts of all these various connected fitness companies to see how they're growing, to see what those numbers are. And, you know, every quarter, Peloton has way more people in their base IG community. They've grown by sheer numbers, not percentages, by sheer numbers more than everybody. And, you know, some of the other players, the iFits and Beachbodies and Soul Cycles and, you know, of the world don't grow as much. Again, I'm just talking about base community. Like, I know that there's all these various micro groups and specific kind of instructor and discipline groups that probably are where everybody else is really at. But I don't know all those, so I just kind of stay with the base account. So it seems to suggest that there's, I'm guessing, and maybe it suggests nothing, but it seems to suggest to me that like there is something unique with Peloton there.
Yeah, I mean, with iFit, I kind of feel like they excel in the structure, like building these series, like that we don't have on Peloton, where it's like the other gal was talking about, a series in the Arctic or something that you would do from like beginning to end and show progress and stuff on that series. And they also, in my opinion, excel in the monthly challenges because, you know, they come up with these unique challenges where you get to go and they put together like 10 workouts that are with different instructors. So then you get to try these different instructors maybe you hadn't before and get a badge. Now they're doing the virtual badges for that. But, you know, on the other side, you know, Peloton really has star quality instructors. I mean, they really do great on their socials, IG, you know, connecting with folks and being there, and then creating that warmth and community and being vulnerable. And that's not the same on iFit.
Yeah, it's something about how they've created that star kind of appeal of the instructor. That it doesn't feel like that's been replicated the same for whatever reason. But I hear you.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. Well, that was really the last topic I had. Other than I was going to razz Danielle about the rower, but we already did that, so I think I covered that too. So
I get razzed about the rower every day in the group. Every day there's some new person who says something about the rower and they know to tag me. I'm like, how do you people even know this?
I know I might be talking to people too much. My bad.
I think that's like part of the questions now to join a group.
That's right.
You agree to razz Danielle about the non-existent rower. That's right. The only way you're allowed in the group.
That's right. That's right.
On May 4th, it's going to be all over.
That's right. Don't even trip. May 4th at, what I say, 9 a.m.? 9 a.m. is over.
9 a.m. time?
Yeah, Eastern Daylight Time.
Okay. Child, let me get my flight money ready. Okay.
All right.
And I see Jazz is on now, so I have backup. I mean, Erica was already backup, but I know Jazz for sure because she takes none of your nonsense.
No.
So Jazz, just know
May 4th, 9:01, I'll be at the door. And I'm going to need y'all to let me in so that me and John can have it out.
By the way, just so you, I mean, Jazz has been talking about y'all ever since we got back. She loved meeting all of y'all. She loved hanging out with you, Danielle. She did that. So I just want you to know that.
I rub this in my face. Good night. Let me log off.
I just want to make sure that y'all knew that she really loved meeting y'all.
Her. I'm so glad I got to meet her in person, and I absolutely adore her. Like, I already knew that I would, just because I adore you. But she's so incredible, and I had the best time, and I'm glad I got to sit next to her. The only thing that was missing was Erica. I need to meet her in person now, too.
Well,
me. You didn't get to meet me, but then it would have been the super spreader event, so it was good that I stayed.
That's right. I'm hopeful we can meet you soon, Tammy. But yeah, we adore you too, Danielle, and you as well, Tammy. So yeah, hopefully we get to do this again. You know, we ain't that far away from New York. You know, I'll just pop up. So one of these days we'll do it again. All right. Well, it's always fun hanging out with you guys. I always take you guys along, but you know, it's fun. I enjoy talking to you guys. I know Adam said in the chat, maybe one of these weeks we'll like recommend a ride at the end of the conversation. I don't know. Y'all have to tell me a ride to recommend, because you know I only ride with like Alex and run with Jess. Like, I don't do that many instructors.
We've already given you homework. You have a whole Jess Sims lineup and a 2-for-1 run to do. You know what you need to do tomorrow.
Okay,
Go stack them now.
Okay, then maybe I have a recommendation next week then. Okay, all right, I'll figure it out then.
Well, everybody can box with me and Tammy tomorrow. As we figure out which one we're doing.
Oh, that's right.
What time we're going to do it.
That's
right. You guys can join us.
Yeah, you have to post about when you're doing that. Maybe some of us can join. I might be doing it. I might be doing it like I do the Saturday 60 though, but I'll be on.
No, I'm gonna make Erica FaceTime me. You can see that you're doing it.
Well, all right, y'all. I appreciate you guys joining. I always enjoy the conversations. Always fun. And if I don't see you guys in a class or on a ride, we'll talk next week. All right? Cool. Talk to you guys later.
Night.
Good night.
Thanks, guys. Bye.
Bye.